Hope you had a great weekend. We have a whole bunch of orders on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari to ship out this morning. I'm going to ship out all those orders right here on this live stream. So welcome in, everybody. Hope you're doing well to kick off the week. Let's see. Let's get some shipping labels printed out. As always, you're going to be the boss for just a moment. Let me know, what are we going to ship first? Are we going to ship eBay, Poshmark, or Mercari? You can just let me know down below in the chat. Excited to spend a little bit of time with you today while we ship out all these orders. If you're new to this live, we do this live every single Monday right around noontime Eastern. Ship out all the orders from the last 48 hours of the weekend. And we talk shop. We talk about reselling. I'm a full-time reseller. Been doing this full-time for 5 years. Been doing this in total, I guess, 7.5, almost 8 years now. But it's been full-time for just over 5 years. So run this business totally out of the house and out of the garage where we store most of our inventory. So a home-based business. If you have questions, drop them down below in the chat. We'll be answering those. If you want to share what's going on with your business down below in the chat, I want to hear about that too. Or if you just want to say hi, like Juliet. What's up, Juliet? Appreciate you. You were the first person to comment on the YouTube video yesterday. If you haven't checked out the new YouTube video, I went to Winston-Salem, did a day of thrifting. I recorded the whole thing and dropped it on YouTube. That video dropped yesterday. So if you want to check out exactly what I'm picking up at thrift stores and what I'm passing on, and I just try to share as much about my decision-making process as possible in those videos. So thanks, Juliet, for checking out the video and being the first to comment. You commented like within a minute of that video going live yesterday. So I don't forget stuff like that. What's up, Kate? How are you? Kate says Mercari first. We can do Mercari first. We can absolutely do that. What's up, Chemo in the house? Adam says Mercari. Mercari's popular today. Glad it's popular with y'all. I always wanted to be a boss. You are a boss, man. You are the boss, man. Not in your own house, though. You're not the boss at your own house. But around here, you are a boss. All right. We got our eBay labels printed out. You want Mercari first, huh? We got one order going out the door on Mercari. Let's see if I can find it. I think it's this one. Yes. One order going out on Mercari. So I'm going to go over all the orders from the past 48 hours. The last time I shipped was Saturday around noontime. And I'm going to go over everything. I'm going to tell you how much I paid for these items, how much they sold for, about what my profit is, and about how long these took to take, too, in most cases. What's up, Tinkerbell? Longtime fan on TikTok. Well, welcome over here on YouTube. Appreciate you having you over here. I haven't been live on TikTok in a couple of years. I was banned for like almost a couple of years from TikTok lives for God knows what reason, but I can go live on there now, but I always get violations every time I go live on there. So I just haven't been going live on TikTok. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We do this every Monday morning. So make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and turn on the notifications. So anytime I go live, you'll get a notification here on YouTube. What's up, Mark? You're welcome, brother. Good to have you here. Knew it would be fast. Yep. Love your thrift trip videos. Thanks. Is it raining? Raina? Maybe it's Raina. Hope you're doing well. All right, Mercari first. So this isn't a shirt, or I guess this isn't a model that I run into too often, but I do pick them up when I run into them. So this is the Jim Nance edition from Vineyard Vines. This is a cotton polyester spandex blend golf polo. Nothing fancy here, just a solid pattern, maybe a little bit of a heathered finish to it. But definitely a golf polo, Jim Nance edition. This sold on Mercari for a best offer of $19.19. Buyer pays shipping on Mercari here. After shipping and fees and all that, Mercari is going to pay me out $16.65. I paid $5 for this shirt at the thrift store. So after you subtract fees, shipping, all that stuff, my cost of goods, I'm going to make $11.65 on this. And if you're like, well, what is your business all about? Pretty much just that. Buying stuff for about $5 and selling stuff for about $20 to $25 is kind of like the core of it. But of course we sell. We have some heavy hitters going out the door today too, but this is a very, very common type of item. And of course, this is a golf polo. We are on the front end, or kind of in the middle of golf season, I guess now. Maybe the front end in a lot of places in the country, but golf stuff has been selling now. And that'll be one of our best sellers, is like golf pants, shorts, shirts, that kind of stuff will kind of carry the day through March, June, and July as we get into these warmer months. Is Wrangler paying for you to promote? They should. They should. That would be a great, it'd be a big company. That's a Greensboro, North Carolina based company. So maybe I can work the North Carolina angle and get a Wrangler sponsorship. That'd be cool. I just like some of their shirts. These are so cheap at their factory store. And I love a nice mountain pattern on my shirt. So grabbed a couple of those a few months back. All right. Afternoon, Absolute Finds. Welcome in. If you haven't said hi, drop a hello down below in the chat. I want to hear how business is going. How are things going with you? Drop the questions down below. I love that. Anything you can do to slow me down and get me off my shipping game, I'm a fan of. Why would you bundle those 4 pairs of jeans instead of selling them separate? There's no right or wrong way to do it. Well, I guess they're all right ways to do it. So you can bundle them and sell them, or you can sell them individually to sell them. It's a tougher size because the jeans were hemmed, so it's a shorter size. So for me, I'd rather find one buyer than have to find 4 buyers of kind of an unusual size, if that makes sense. But you could list them individually, and that would be the right way too. I think Mendy's asking about the pair. I did a video about a pair of, I found 4 pairs of Levi's 517 boot cuts at a thrift store. So I think that's what Mendy is asking about. And I bundle a lot of stuff. I like selling in bundles. All right, let's switch over. Let's do a whole bunch of eBay orders here. So let me get my stuff in order. All right, Carlos is first. Okay, our first order on eBay. This is what came in on Saturday afternoon after I shipped. Actually, a really good order right here. So first eBay order, $40 pair of Ermenegildo Senya pants. Really great brand here, an Italian designer brand. These are corduroys. I found these at a thrift store. This was the Shelby, North Carolina Goodwill. I did this on a Charlotte YouTube video. I found this pair of pants. I paid $5 for them. They sold for $40 plus $8.95 shipping. And the shipping label is going to cost me $8.13. Boy, shipping costs went up, huh? Especially on these like heavier items and if they're going far. If this pair of pants was going to California at a 2-pound rate, probably would have cost me close to $11. But these are going to Durrell, Florida. You already know what I'm going to say about this order going to Durrell, Florida. It is probably going internationally. This is going through a reshipper or through a broker or through a freight forwarder, whatever you want to call it. So whoever bought this shirt or this pair of pants is actually buying them to send them to a customer overseas. And that's fine with me. We send a lot of stuff. If the address is Durrell or Miami, there's a good chance for me that it's going internationally. And I can tell by the address too. Like this is an address that very much sounds like it's in an office park or a business park kind of thing. It's probably right near the Miami airport. And it's going to be going into a big kind of pallet or a Gaylord or something. I'm going to get shipped overseas. Almost guarantee it. We have like one of these, I feel like almost every single live. So second order out the door, I paid $5 for those. They sold for $40 plus $8.95 shipping. If we look at the actual, after eBay's exact fees are subtracted in my shipping label, eBay's going to pay me out $30.24. I paid $5 for those pants. And so that if you subtract that 5, I made $25 profit after cost of goods, shipping fees, and all that stuff. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're well. Hope you're well. Is cost of goods include that poly bag? The poly bag cost me 3 cents a piece. So no, I don't specifically add that one into each thing. Poly bags typically, I mean, you can calculate how your cost of goods any way that you want to do your cost of goods, but typically that would go under supplies and that wouldn't be considered a cost of good. That would be like more in a monthly spend for supplies. So I wouldn't add that to each individual order personally. You can do it however you want. But if you want to add that in yourself as we go along, the poly bags cost me about 3 cents a piece. And that one I used right there is actually a free USPS one. So, but the clear polys are about 3. I found 3 pairs of Mobby jeans on New Rack this weekend. Have you had success with this brand? Yep, I like selling Mobby. If I can get it for the right price, I like grabbing them. And of course, with jeans and pants, the best thing to do is comp the item based on the model and the size too, because that can make a big time difference in sell-through rate and average sale price. I'm going to drop down below in the chat a link. This is a link to my full list of recommended reselling supplies. These are the same exact reselling supplies that I use every single day for my business. So And that's how I reorder my own stuff. So I actually just reordered a bunch of stuff last week, and I used my own list to go through because it makes it nice and easy. And I shared that list with you. It's down below in the chat. If you're on Instagram, you can't click on links in the chat, but you can click on my name and you can go to my profile and you can go right to my website and you'll find that same exact list. Do you have any upcoming thrifting vacations planned? I don't have anything planned in May, but I usually don't have things planned. I usually just sort of decide that I'm going to set sail that morning or the night before, and that's that. I pack a duffel bag and I'm on the road. It doesn't take much. eBay takes more fees than Poshmark. In some cases they can, but in some cases they don't. It just kind of depends on if you're promoting or not, and all that stuff. But it can. Some of the items I sell, eBay actually takes a little bit more because I pay to promote. I stopped into a Goodwill that I only get by once in a while. All of their jeans were $24. Wow, that's a lot of money. And all their t-shirts, Nike, Under Armour, $10.50. That's pretty high. That's kind of crazy. I think it's crazy to ship an 8-ounce shirt cost $7. Feels like that's probably a lot. If I look through my 8-ounce shipping labels today, I don't think I'll be spending $7 on any of them. Here's one that's going to Michigan at an 8-ounce rate. It's $6.30. Here's one that's going to Indiana, 8-ounce rate, $5.83. And where else do I have an 8-ounce rate? Those might be the only 8-ounce. Yeah, those are the only 8-ounce rates. So $6.30 for one and $5.83 for the other. So 7 might be high. And I guess unless it's going all the way from like East Coast to West Coast or something like that. What's happening? Moss is in the house. You said you would be here. You promised, and you came through. And that means a lot to me. Hope you're doing well, Moss. Depends on how far away it's going. That is right, Honey Queen. We might see GameStop by eBay before we get GTA 6. Wild times for sure. What's up, Salt? How are you, brother? Maybe Virginia in your next trip. Richmond has lots of non-profits with great brands at great prices. Maybe. I feel like Richmond is a really far drive, though. It's been a long time since I've been in that neck of the woods. 3.5 hours. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's a possibility for sure. I appreciate the idea. Did I miss anything? All right, cool. All right, we're right in the middle of eBay orders, kind of just getting started. So welcome in if you're just popping into the live. Remember, all these lives are available as a replay as soon as the live is over. So as soon as I click end on this, you can rewatch this on Facebook and YouTube. If you happen to be watching the replay, let me know down below in the chat. Write SHIP, S-H-I-P, if you're watching the replay. That way I know that you're watching on the replay. I get back to all the questions and comments if you're watching the replay too. But if you're live, of course, you can just jump right in and get those questions going. Let's get the conversation started. Good morning, Running Yahoo. That's a great name. Radiant Bloom Shop, what's up? Welcome in. It's been a long time since I've been on your show. Well, tomorrow, it's good to have you. Welcome back. We've been waiting for you tomorrow, and you are here, and we are happy about it. All right, our next order is going out. It's a good sale right here. Let's see. I haven't been telling you how long these have taken to sell, so I'm going to try to stay on my game with that. So if I fall off my game, you can call me out. So those Menegildo Senya pants took 36 days to sell. 36 days to sell. This next one was a quick sale. 7 days to sell. This is an REI co-op jacket right here, like REI, the store. This model rain jacket is called the Rainier Peak 2.5 liter. 2.5 liter Rainier Peak. I paid $7 for this at a thrift store last week, and it sold for $29.99 on the best offer. So I paid $7, sold for $29.99. Took a week to sell. I haven't even paid the credit card bill yet for this purchase, and I already got some profit in my pocket from it. So after shipping and fees, eBay is going to pay me out $20.80, and I paid $7, so I'm going to make $13.80 on this REI rain jacket. Some of the REI stuff can be really, really good if you know what to look for. And this one is going out to Jan. Thank you, Jan. Nice quick little flip here. Does it get any better than that, than like 7-day flips? That's a beautiful thing. Next one after this is actually a really good sale too, and a really fast one. I think this next one is actually even faster. I just picked up this shirt. Welcome in, everybody. How was your weekend of sales? Tell me about it. What's moving for you? This is a good place to brag. You might talk to your friends and family about your flips, and they're like, yeah, whatever. We don't care. I'll tell you what, I care, and everybody in this chat cares. So if you want to brag about your flips, you're in the right place. I want to hear about it. All right, another eBay out the door. Next one is going to Richard. This is going to Dahlonega, Georgia. This sale was 2 days, listed for 2 days. So got a polo Ralph Lauren rugby shirt, short sleeve. I just found this on the this was on my Greensboro video. I just picked this up. So just listed it 2 days ago. Well, listed it Thursday. It sold Saturday. So 2 days. Polo Ralph Lauren, men's size, XLT. Pony on the chest, rugby style shirt, short sleeve. Sold for $33.99 plus the buyer paid $6.95 shipping. So they're all in for what, 31 bucks? 31 bucks. Yeah, that sounds about right. So after shipping and fees, I mean, a 2-day flip. I mean, how great is that? Always had good luck with rugbies from Polo Ralph Lauren. And I feel like that rugby style is starting to hit really hard right now. Maybe be really big come fall. So after shipping and fees, $24.40 is my payout from eBay. I paid $5 for the shirt. It flipped in 2 days. So I made $19.40. And it was only listed a couple of days. How do you beat that? So thank you for your order, Richard. I'm going to try to say the name of this town just so y'all can laugh at me. I think it's Dahlonega, I think is the town name. Somebody from Georgia is going to correct me in the chat, hopefully. Dahlonega. Sales this weekend were the worst in about 1 to 2 years for me. No idea why, just the way it goes sometimes. Sorry to hear that, Running Yahoo. Hopefully it's just the normal ups and downs of business, and maybe what goes down must go up, right? So hopefully you have a good couple of days moving forward and you don't get too hung up in the day-to-day of it all. 17 items going out today from the weekend. Nice. Bass and Coffee crushing it over there. Just growing every week, it seems like. I love it. That's awesome. My sales have come almost to a halt. Whenever someone's interested in something, they offer me 50% off and don't want my counter. I've been having problems since eBay's tech issues. Sorry to hear that, Desert Rain. That's a bummer. Hopefully you bounce back to the ups and downs in this business. You can't let it get you down. You just got to keep hustling and let it motivate you. Let it make you take a hard look at, like, all right, what's maybe going wrong here? You know, what can I do better? Is it my pricing? Is it my photos? Is it my promotional rate? Am I and sometimes you look at all that stuff and you're like, well, shoot, I'm doing a really great job. And maybe it's just the normal ups and downs of business. And sometimes it's unexplainable, but Tankerbell, thank you so much. Remember, I got my first sale watching your show last summer. That's like, it doesn't get any better than that. We got to share that moment with you, and thank you for sharing it with us. Do you know how to dispute a negative review on eBay? I do. The easiest thing would just to be that Radiant Bloom, just type that into the Google machine, and it will probably give you step-by-step instructions. I don't remember the exact step-by-step, but that's probably what I would do. I would just type that into the Google machine and get your instructions. I had a great weekend. 19 on eBay, 12 on Posh. Let's go. Pretty balanced weekend over there too, Salt. I like that. That's a strong weekend. So did eBay get hacked? Saw something about it on TikTok. I think it was one of those, what do you call it? NDS, like kind of like a server attack kind of thing. Like they overload the server with a whole bunch of activity. I didn't read too much about it. Y'all probably know this about me. Like, I try not to focus on things that I can't influence, can't control, whatever. What's going on with eBay's, server getting attacked? Is it a DNS? Yeah, whatever it is. I didn't even read the article about it. I saw the headline and just moved on with my day. I just don't really, I really don't get too worried about those things. Now, did it impact sales for a couple of days? Yeah, probably did. But there's nothing I can do to influence or change it. So I just sort of focus on things that I can, that can help me and my family make money and pay our bills. Sold second weekend in a row, Polo Ralph Lauren cargo shorts, new tag, $60. Great sale, Mendy. I appreciate you sharing that. That's awesome. Second weekend in a row of that. Found 2 J. Crew Oarsman rugby shirts and an Orphan polo yesterday. Never found one before. That's awesome. Great sales. Are those new, retro release oarsmen, or are those vintage oarsmen? Because there are both out there in the wild. I've been doing well on bras, Honey Queen. I love that. Unfortunately, thrift stores are raising their prices on bras. How about that? Kind of an interesting thing like from corporate, right? Like, well, we're going to raise the price on used bras. Like, think about that. It's kind of, they sat in a boardroom and like talked about that for strategies of how they could get their revenue and profitability up. Say hi, Kim.
Hi.
I picked up 20 little Sleepy's bamboo baby PJs and rompers at a small church store, and they're selling really quick. Unfortunately, I haven't found that at any other thrift stores. Yeah, I've never even heard of little Sleepy's bamboo baby PJs, but now I know. Thank you for sharing. When you promote a listing, what rate do you promote at? And as a follow-up, how do you decide which listings to follow? Don't understand the second question. Oh, which listings to promote? I promote everything. And I usually promote it at somewhere between like 4 and 7%. And I kind of like change my promotional rate. I change it from time to time. And I promote everything. Hope that helps. What do we got? It's Dala Nega. How did I say it? Dalonega. It's Dalanega, but there's an O. So Dalanega with an O. Dalanega. I don't know. I'm calling that. There's no. You can't pronounce Dalonega as Dalanega. I don't know. I'm pushing back on that. How many items are you able to cross-list using Nifty from eBay to Posh? My wife wants to cross-list my eBay items onto other platforms using Nifty. How many items are you able to? You're able to cross-list all of them. All of them is the answer. I'm not sure. I think that's what you're asking. Yeah, you can cross-list all of them. There's not like a limit. You're welcome, Radiant Shop. How many items do you list each day? I list 70 to 80 a week. I don't do daily listings. We're talking about Nifty right now, so I'm going to drop a link down below if you want to check it out and do a free trial. So you can use that link that I just dropped in the chat right there. I use Nifty AI for my cross listing, but it also has automation tools built into it. So I don't have to worry about like listing every single day and scheduling drafts to be released on a daily basis, because every single day Nifty is ending and relisting old listings for me, like dozens of them. So that means the algorithm is getting fed. I don't have to worry about feeding the algorithm. All I'm concerned about is getting my regular inventory up as quick as I can every single week. So that's all I'm focused on. 1 second. Thank you so much. All right. Postal lady is here picking up some of the stuff. Love having that free pickup. But yeah, we're talking about Nifty. So like if I dig into my Nifty, I always have like Nifty wide open. I got a draft here that I'm working on, update draft. So I'm going to show you real quick what I'm talking about with the automation. I know automation is like, well, what does that even mean? We are going to talk about it. All right. So right here, little peek in the corner. And this is my automation desktop right in Nifty right now. So you can see at the top of the screen, this is showing you Poshmark. This is what's going on with the automation. So far today, 2,109 self shares. It just shared one while we were talking. It'll probably share another one in a second. There it goes, 2,110. It's relisted an item for me. It's sent 11 offers to people who have liked items, and it's followed people, which helps, again, feed the algorithm. These platforms love activity, so we're feeding the algorithm. With eBay specifically, 20 offers, and I've already had 18 items today recreated. So I don't need to worry about getting 18 listings up today to feed the algorithm on eBay, because Nifty's done it. It's ending these items and it's creating a new listing, and it's got a new item number, a new URL for that item. And you can see, ooh, I got to turn it back on Mercari. It's off. Yes. Get started. Yes. Glad that we checked that. So now I can turn my Mercari back on. So that's what's going on there. That's always happening. So I don't have to like worry about like, did I push my 5 or 10 or 15 or whatever drafts per day? It's just, I don't have to nah, that ain't right, Kate. That ain't right. Anyway, if you have questions about Nifty, let me know. I've been using it for 2 years. Love it. I switched from one of the other leading cross listers. I've used a few of them, and the difference between those platforms and where Nifty is at now is it's just crazy. No looking back. The hack affected my mom's ability to access eBay, and she was worried, so I looked into it for her. Otherwise, I may not have known for a while. Gotcha. Found a Taylor Swift hoodie. Nice job helping your mom out there. That's kind. Found a Taylor Swift hoodie that's super rare, and it sold for 240 minutes. Best sale yet. That's an awesome sale. That's an awesome sale. Thank you for sharing that, Molly. That's great stuff. They are vintage. They are vintage. The J. Crews, the Oarsmans. Nice. Good finds. For blazers, I know you don't pick up all Joseph Banks, so I'm curious which of those you avoid. And for off brands like Stafford, how do you determine to pick up? It's a little bit more complicated than I can just like share, right? You're looking for a so everyone's gonna have to sort of like figure this out. I can't give you all the answers here just because it's too complicated. They have to look at every blazer uniquely, every item uniquely. So I can't just give you a laundry list of which ones to pick up or not. It's a good question. I just can't give you a good answer. What you always want to look at when you're looking at blazers is look at the combination. It's a formula. You're looking at the brand, you're looking at the material, you're looking at the pattern, you're looking at the color, and you're looking at the size, right? And that's the formula. And so I can't just say like pick up good patterns because that's only one part of the formula, right? It needs to be a combination of a few things, right? If you pick up a really terrible size, but the rest of the formula is good, it's not good that, the result, like it's like this times this times this times this times this. If you have a couple of small numbers in there, right, it really flattens out your final number. So you got to look at each blazer uniquely and you got to figure out what are those things that are plus ones for blazers. And some of the plus ones are premium materials like silk and linen and camel hair. That's plus ones, right? Great plaid patterns, right? That's plus ones. Really in style, like fits and like, thinner lapels and stuff. Those things are plus ones. But still, every time you got to go back to the formula and decide, is this a good pickup? And it's going to take you time to figure that out. It's like I always bring everything back to the restaurant business because I grew up in business. I learned business in the restaurant business. And, you're asking me like, essentially, it's like, well, how do I become, like, how do I cook a very specific dish that only a chef knows how to make? Right. And I'm like, well, I don't know. You're new to cooking and, saute cooking. So it'd be tough for me to teach you that in just one sit down, right? Like I could show you, but you're not going to have certain techniques and stuff. You're going to have to, there's no pass and go. There's no collecting $200. I think as much as I want to tell you, like, this is what to pick up. And I want to be your savior. I want to be the person that teaches you exactly what to pick up and make a lot of money. With blazers, I just think that you have to get into it. You have to look at each one. You have to look items up. You have to buy stuff, take it home and have it sell quick. And you buy stuff and take it home and have them sell slow. And you got to just sort of like feel it out and see what's going on and do your research and look at what's in style. Go to stores that have menswear and see what do the mannequins have on them, right? To get an idea of like what's in style. Unfortunately, I just don't think there's I just can't give you a laundry list. And that's a great question, but it's a complicated answer that, you would have to take time. If you wanted to learn how to cook a particular dish on the line and you're a new cook and you've never cooked commercially before, it's going to be really difficult to teach you how to create or how to cook a really complicated dish to do it really, really well. So I think the same is true with blazers. It's a complicated category. Much like, your best cooks are probably your saute cooks and stuff. It's a complicated station to cook on a line, and blazers just take a little bit more time to learn. And I think you can do it. It's not like I had any like special powers, and I figured it out. It's in North Georgia and known for gold mining from the past. It's good to know. Appreciate you sharing that. They had gold in the mountains in Georgia. That's interesting to me. Good afternoon, Brianne. Tested positive for strep yesterday, trying not to couch rot today. Ugh, sorry to hear that. Well, you got to get your rest and get your fluids, right? I'm sorry to hear that though, but chill out. I know it's probably not easy for you. Chill out, relax, put your feet up. Sometimes you don't get to decide when you're going to relax and lay down and do nothing. The world sort of decides for you. So that you got positive for strep. Time to chill out, lady. What's up, Carolyn? How are you? What's the best way to mail your suits, jackets, and pants? I ship them in poly bags. I have a full YouTube video that literally walks you through. It's 25 minutes long. It walks you through like shipping out blazers, right? Start to finish. So I go to the thrift store. I show you exactly what I'm looking for. I buy a blazer. I take it home. I take photos. I take measurements. I list it. And then I pack it and ship it there was another one that sold that same day. So I packed and shipped that one and show you the whole process. So if you want to check that up over on YouTube, I'm going to drop the link to my YouTube. It was I think that video went out in January. So you just have to scroll down the list of videos a little bit, but that 25-minute walkthrough is right there for you. So good step-by-step process. Unfortunately, I can't give you a 25-minute answer right now, but you can watch that YouTube video and get your 25-minute answer and get all the info. You're right. I'm a goer 23/7. 23/7. You take an hour off a day. Well, that's nice to yourself anyway. Good morning. Sorting at the bins while listening in the background. I like it. Josh, hope you find some good stuff. Awesome. I'll have to check it out. I like it. I like it. I had a return delivered in a priority mailer with a ground delivery label. She returned it because it had a stain a week after it was delivered. I did not send it stained, but I got it out. Oh man, that's annoying. Well, nice job getting the stain out. That's like every reset. If you're going to be a clothing reseller, you got to get at least pretty competent in getting stains out. So nice job there. Yeah, Steve. All right, let's get on to these orders here. Next up is an order for Raymond. This happens all the time. I buy an item. I inspected it carefully at the thrift store. I missed something. It had a little flaw or tear or whatever, and I still sell it anyway. I didn't lose money on this. I'm not going to get rich off of it, but it's a Polo Ralph Lauren, kind of an Oxford style shirt, pony on the chest, classic plaid pattern. It just had a little flaw. So I called out the flaw in the item title in the description and had a close-up photo with a pointer pointing right at the flaw. So the buyer knows exactly what they're getting into. I price it at the bottom of the market and I accept low offer. So I paid $5 for the shirt. I accepted an offer for $10 to get it gone. So I'll make like, I don't know, $1 or $2 on this or something like that after fees and shipping. And, but I didn't lose money on a mistake. Any business, you're going to make mistakes, and those mistakes are going to be costly in most cases. But with a small flaw on a shirt, I can typically sell these and still make out with something like $3, $4, $5 profit, and move along. No losses. I mean, I invested some time into it, but any business is going to have some mistakes along the way. I was in the restaurant business for a long time, and look, you're going to overcook a steak, and then you're going to have to go and you're going to have to recook another steak for that person, and you're probably going to take it off the bill too, and you're going to lose money. In this case, we didn't even lose money, but we got it gone. It's part of the biz. You can't be perfect, but you can be pretty good. But being perfect is, I don't think, a reasonable expectation. You're just going to miss stuff, especially a lot of those stores. The lighting's brutal, all that stuff. You're moving fast. You're trying to get to the next store. I get it. It happens to me too. Do you sell bigger or long stuff like golf clubs and golf bags on Marketplace? Sometimes, but I also sometimes I list those on eBay too and just ship them. So I've sold more golf clubs and golf bags on eBay than I have on Facebook Marketplace. I hate selling on Facebook Marketplace, to be honest with you, but I do it sometimes. What's the best sale of the day? I don't think we've got there yet. I don't know if we've called the best sale of the day yet. I don't know if we've made that statement yet. We got some good sales coming on down the pike, so I think you're right on time. Nifty scheduled to list drafts has been a game changer, able to schedule listings days in advance, so I'm able to source more and picture them. Nice. And there's going to be different people who have different takes on this, but I do not schedule drafts ahead of time because my algorithm is getting fed by the delist and relist by Nifty. We've already had 18 items delisted and relisted on eBay by Nifty today. So I have fed the algorithm. The algorithm is fat and happy right now. In fact, it's actually, 18 recreates. So I don't need to worry about having items that I've already taken the time to photo, measure, and all that stuff. If I did that today, I want that item available for a customer to buy it today or to buy it tomorrow. I don't want to schedule that listing to go out on Friday. I would rather have the listing up now because, again, I'm already feeding the algorithm every single day without doing a thing, just because Nifty is doing that work for me. So I don't worry about daily listings. Now, you get that messaging from people all the time about the daily listings, and they're not wrong, but those are people that maybe aren't using automation tools that are feeding all the algorithms every single day anyway. So you do you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. My job is to tell you what I do and exactly why. And for me, I would rather have those items instead of waiting till Friday to push out some drafts that I created today. I would rather have them available today. So a buyer could buy it today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever. So I can get those items out the door, get profit in my pocket, and then go back to the store and buy more stuff. That's my take, but I'm not going to tell anybody else what to do. Again, my job is to tell you what I do and why. Picked up a first Stafford blazer today for $7. Wild blue and purple green plaid. I feel like you have steered me right, and I feel it will sell. Thinking $40, but we'll do a deep dive for true comp. Nice, Adam. I like it. Good find, brother. I have a feeling that that's one that I would like. Yes, I'll wait patiently. Thanks. You're welcome. Out of 17 items going out today, one of them was a Joseph A. Bank 2-piece and a Peter Millar suit jacket. Thanks, bro, for sharing about the suits. I've learned a lot. Well, I appreciate that. Thanks for letting me know. Sounds like some great sales. What's your policy on when to wash versus steam versus no cleaning on clothes? I wash items when they need to be washed, like they're dirty or they're stained or they smell. I don't own a steamer, so I hope that answers your question. Yeah, I think that covers it. I've never steamed an item to sell on eBay or Poshmark. Not a single one. I don't own a steamer. I'm not sure if we own an iron. If we do, it's like in a moving box in the garage somewhere. I don't even know if we have one. We don't iron stuff for eBay either. Next up is an order for Warren. Yep, Warren. Pair of Levi's 505s. Nothing fancy here, but this is a really quick sale. So this sold on a best offer of $20. I paid $6 for them. And I think this is really quick. No, it was 30 days. That's quick. So 30 days on this. It is a longer inseam, that 34 inseam. Does tend to sell a little bit better for me. Better sell-through rates. But again, every pair of jeans you look at, I encourage you to comp them and look at sell-through rate based on the model and the size. And you can find some inseams that have like really good sell-through rates, or you'll find some like waist widths in certain models that have really good sell-through rates. So, but I will say a general rule of thumb is the 34s tend to sell a little bit quicker. The 34 inseam. So $30 to sell here. I paid $6. These are going to Brazelton, Georgia. This is going to Warren. Welcome in, everybody. Glad to spend a little bit of time with you today. It is a beautiful day here in Asheville. We had a nice weekend. It was on the cooler side, a lot of like 50s and 60s, and like overnight, like pretty cold. But yesterday was just absolutely beautiful, like mid 60s. The sun was out. It felt like 80 because the sun is just beating down on us here. But we had a great time yesterday hanging with some friends downtown. And it is a little bit warmer today. We're going to get into the mid 70s today. It feels warmer like right now than it got at any point in time over the weekend. So like even in the morning, it was like it felt warmer than it was like the highs the last couple of days. I took a chance and bought a bunch of men's swimming trunks over the winter and finally paying off. They're selling like crazy. Brands like Ralph Lauren, Eddie Bauer, and Columbia. Nice tic-tac. Love that. Buying off season. Thank you, Range Life. Appreciate you saying hello. Welcome in. By the way, dipping my toe and trying blazers. Thanks for the great info. I love that. It'll take you some time to learn, but the best way to learn is to just dig right into it. When I started learning blazers in January, so I decided in January of 2021, it was my second month full-time as a reseller. And I said, look, I got to learn a new category if I'm going to make this full-time thing work. So I'm like, at the time I lived in Tampa, and all these thrift stores just had big, long racks full of blazers and suits. And no resellers were looking at them. And I said, I got to be able to make that big section of the thrift store work. I don't know anything about this category, but I'm going to dig in and I'm going to figure it out. And that's what I did. I didn't follow anybody's YouTubes really to learn. I just sort of dug in and did the research and comped items out and checked sell-through rate and made a bunch of mistakes along the way and bought some crappy stuff that took a while to sell and learned from it, right? The best way to learn is through a little bit of pain, right? And that's how I did it. Now, 5 years later, I'm pretty good at suits and blazers, and I'm still learning all the time. I picked up some new brands last week that I never picked up before. So you got to continue to learn because the market changes and styles change. We're in the fashion business, but I think the best way to learn is just to dig in, learn from doing. It's the best way. Polo Ralph Lauren pair of corduroys right here. These are going to Ziad. They're going to Staten Island, New York. Sold for $33.99 in used condition. $33.99. I paid $6 for these at a thrift store, and they took 56 days to sell. So nice sale right here. And I'll get into the profit on that one. One of the better profit pieces so far of the day. Remember, most of my flips aren't like $100 profits or $80 or $60 profits. It's a whole lot of, you know, like $12, $15, $18 profits. And then, you know, you get some home runs mixed in there. So this one, after fees, eBay's going to pay me out $26.39. I paid $5. So $21.39 profit on this one. Not bad. 65% of my sales result in a profit of less than $20. It's between 10 and 20 bucks is most of that. 65% of my sales are netting me net profit after everything less than 20 bucks, usually 10 to 20. 35% net me profit of $20 or more. So this is going to Ziad. But at the end of the month, those profits end up being 50-50. So the items that sell for less than $20 profit is about 50% of my monthly profit. And the ones that sell above the $20 profit number, those are about 50% of my profit. I just sell more of the smaller ones. So when people sometimes ask me, they're like, why do you pick up that low end bread and butter stuff that's not making you 20 bucks? I'm like, because it's half my freaking income. And I'm not ready to chop off half my income, especially since if I'm picking up the $20 plus profit items like this one right here, I'm already at the thrift store. I already looked at these items that would net me $12 or $13. Why don't I just throw those in the cart? I already spent the gas. I already drove here. I already spent the time going through all this stuff. And I know these items will make me $12 or $15. Why wouldn't I not pick them up? Now, the answer to that would be I wouldn't pick them up if I could find a whole cart full of items that were all going to make me $20 plus profit. Well, sure. If I could just do that every day, then yeah, I probably wouldn't pick up so many of the bread and butter items. I mean, I'm not stupid. I'm going to take the best of what I find, right? But the reality is I haven't been able to make that model work. If I just stuck to $20 plus items in this area, I would not make that much money. So I like the way that I do it. It works for me. You just got to figure out your own market and your own like sort of way you do business. Is the way I do business the way you should do business? Not necessarily, but maybe you can steal a thing or two from me. We are a few months in and we were told to list each day. We scheduled a certain amount every day, a couple days ahead. What is your thoughts on scheduling ahead versus listing in a few days? Okay. So let me know, do you have automation tools for your business? Like I use Nifty for my business. It shares items constantly on Poshmark. It's automatically sending offers to people who like and watch my items on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. And it's delisting and relisting stale inventory every single day. Do you have something like that for your business? And that will help me answer your question. It's a good question. Next up is an order for Nancy. Nancy got her new golf polo, a little sleeveless golf polo. The brand here is Bad Birdie. I picked these up both new and used. This one is new, brand new with tags. MSRP on this is $78. And she's getting it for $26.99 on a best offer, brand new with tags. It's a good deal right there. Nice little pattern. And I bought a bunch of these, and I think my average buy cost on these was $10 or $11. And this is a multi-quantity listing. As you know, I love these because I just do one round of photos, one round of measurements, put up one listing, set the quantity to 6, and then just let them sell. So if I don't make a ton of profit on this item, which I won't on this one sale, I'll tell you exactly how much my profit is. eBay's going to pay me out $19.84. So let's assume I paid $11 for this. We'll go on the high end. I think my average buy cost was like $10.50 or something, but we'll go 11. So I made $8.84 on this shirt. Doesn't sound like much. It's not. But I think I have 6 or 8 of these in this size. So let's go with 6. 6 times 884 is pretty good, right? For one listing, I'm going to make like $50-something off that one listing. And all I got to do is throw this in a poly bag when it sells, slap a shipping label on it, and I'll put it out in the front patio and the post office will pick it up. So to me, I love that. So I'll go down on margin. I'll take a little bit less if I can get a whole bunch of that item and just do one listing. Do you look far or study vintage clothing much? I've been getting into that the last couple months, looking for stuff when I thrift when it's enjoying it and selling items quick. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I sell vintage stuff. I don't sell a ton of vintage stuff, but sure, I have for years. Use Vendu. So you probably have well, I don't know. Does Vendu have a delisting and relisting on eBay? They used to not have automation like that so is it ending your old listings on eBay and relisting them? They didn't used to have that built into their service. So I'm curious if they have that now. That'll help me answer your question. We all like to find big profit items. Not the case in more competition too. Never used to be like this. So yeah, I mean, a lot of competition for sure. You got to adapt. You got to hustle. You got to figure it out. You got to recalculate all the time on the fly. What do you do when you have already sold an item and have cancel with a buyer because it was previously sold and relisted somehow? What do you do when you, I don't know. What do you mean? What do you do when you have to cancel? You cancel. What's I'm maybe missing the question. What do you mean? What do I do? I don't cry. I just move on. What do you, yeah, let me know, maybe clarify like what you're looking for there. I'm not really sure. Doing well with summer hiking shoes and clothing. Sold a few Lily Pulitzer items too. Doing well with summer hiking. Sold a few. Nice. Yes. That's the time of year, right? And Lily is I feel like Lily is such like a summer, springtime, kind of like bright colors kind of style. So I imagine that stuff's selling pretty good for you. I like it. Another brand new with tag item that I grabbed a whole bunch of these. I don't remember what I paid for these. Retail price is $60. This is a hook. Let's see if I can show you the logo. There it is right there. Hook. I don't pick up everything from this brand, but here's a men's size small fishing shirt. This sold on a best offer of $27 on eBay. Again, I bought a bunch of these. I bought a bunch of hook shorts. I bought a bunch of hook shirts. My guess is I probably paid somewhere close to $10 for these, but I honestly don't remember on these ones. But again, multi-quantity listing, one round of photos and measurements. Just let them rip, let them ship. And this one's going out the door to Brandon. I just listed these not too long ago, I feel like. New hook. I listed these 16 days ago. I think this is the first of this particular model to sell. So 16 days for the first one. And we got more. My local Goodwill was getting picked over. Oh, where'd your comment go? There it is. My local Goodwill was getting picked over this past week. So I went to one that's around a high-end area about 20 minutes away. Ended up picking up 60 items between Saturday and Sunday. That's great. 60 items in 2 days is nice. Way to adapt. I know I have a couple of questions that I haven't answered yet that I've asked you follow-up questions on. So I haven't forgot about you. I'm just waiting to hear, does Vendu have that delist, relist automatically built in on eBay, or have they not added that yet? They hadn't added that as of a year ago. I know that, but still waiting for your follow-up there. I can't give you advice until I know that little piece. Next up is for a pair of Wolverine pants, Wolverine FR. And you can see it says like Cat 2 right there. So that's talking about the flame resistant property of this pair of work pants from Wolverine. I don't know that I've bought and sold this brand before. If I have, it's been a long time. $25.99 plus $8.95 shipping. This took 107 days to sell. So just about 3.5 months to sell on this. And I paid $5 for these pants. So my profit on this pair of pants after shipping and fees is going to be, wait for it. eBay is going to pay me out $16.43. I paid $5. So I'm going to make 11. I would have made more, but the shipping label on this one, they just jacked up the prices because gas is crazy. So the shipping label is $10.43 at a 2-ounce rate because this is going all the way to California. So I actually lost like $1.50 on shipping on this one. Typically I would gain like $1 or $1.50 on shipping but with all those prices going up, this one got me. So only $11 profit on this one. I really wish this sold somewhere, like if this sold to Atlanta or even Nashville, that would have been really cool, but it went all the way to California. whatever. I still made my $11 profit. And you know how I feel about that. You make a few bucks on shipping here and there. You lose a few bucks on shipping here and there, and it all just comes out in the wash. But anyway, sold these Wolverines. This is going to Joaquin. And it's going to Paris, California. Clear across the country from Asheville to California. Used your link to sign up for Whatnot last night. Nice. Did you sign up for the seller thing, or did you sign up for like did you get the $15 credit as a buyer? Which one of those links did you use? Curious. Thanks for using my links. So I think what Rob is talking about is this link here. I'll drop it for everybody here, just so Rob doesn't have the market cornered. So if you sign up to Whatnot with that link, Whatnot is a live auction app. It's I actually source my inventory, like sitting on the couch sometimes. There's a handful of sellers that I trust and that I like, and that when they go live, I'll check out what they got and I'll buy some stuff. I'll have it shipped to my front door for great prices, and then I'll resell that stuff on eBay and Poshmark. So if you sign up to Whatnot with that link that I just dropped down below in the chat, you'll get a $15 credit when you sign up for free. So you can go buy your first item, a $15 item, get that 100% for free. You just got to sign up with that link I just dropped below in the chat. If you're on Instagram, you can't click links on the chat, unfortunately, but you can click on my name, go to my profile, and if you click to my website, you'll find that same $15 credit offer for Whatnot. I've been on Whatnot I used to sell on Whatnot a lot, and I've been on there for years. And I've probably bought as much as I've sold on there, to be honest with you. And I really like the platform. Why is the flat rate shipping envelopes different prices when shipping? I thought it was supposed to be the same regardless of distance. Why is the flat rate shipping envelopes different prices when shipping? I don't know. They're not. Flat rate is flat rate. So I'm not really sure. Maybe I'm misunderstanding your question, but flat rate is flat rate. Just did the $15 buyer so far. There you go. So you got 15 bucks to spend, Rob. You gotta haul out. You gotta go shopping. I like it, Rob. I like it, Rob. All right, next up is an order from Matt. And thanks for using those links. You know, that's how creators make money. Oftentimes it's through those affiliate links. That's how we keep the lights on, and that's how we're able to devote time to doing stuff like this and sharing what we know and giving knowledge. Otherwise, I mean, I've been doing it. Gosh, I make very little money from doing lives, to be honest with you. Very little money, and especially made very little money in the first 6 years that I was doing lives. And most of those years, made $0 from going live, to be honest with you. So the only way that you can continue to do this kind of stuff and put time and energy into it is that you make a little buck from kickbacks, from links, and all that stuff. So, but what's good with most of these links is you get a great deal, and we get a little bit of a deal too, a little bit of a kickback. Usually between 2 and 4% is what we see on our links. So it's not like we're getting rich off of it. Pair of AG Adriano Goldschmied Everett Slim Straight Jeans, men's size 38 by 34. These sold on a best offer of $31.99. And I'm going to tell you how long they took to sell. These took $37 days to sell. I paid $8 for these at a thrift store. I picked these up, if I remember correctly, at a thrift store in Charlotte. Oh, what do they charge? Is it $8 or is it $7? I think it's $7 in Charlotte for the jeans, if I'm remembering the store that I picked these up at. So sold for $31.99. Hey, Tej. How are you? We had a great weekend. I appreciate that. We'll see if Kim's nearby. I don't see her, so I won't shout to her, but I will let her know that you said hello. I will do that. I went to Paris High School, grew up in Paris my teen years. Is Paris like poor man's Paris? What is Paris? I've never heard of Paris before. That's funny though. Small world, right? I've never heard of that town before. And it's probably a great town. I'm not saying anything bad about it. You know that salt. All right, so these are shipping to New York. Buyer paid $8.95 shipping. The shipping label cost me $8.13. 15 cents. So what am I making? Like $80 on the shipping label on this one. This is going to Matt. Thank you, Matt. I really like selling men's Adriano Goldschmied jeans. And even though these are a slim straight, which aren't really like the big fashion right now, you know, the macro fashion right now is right. People want to buy the straight leg, the wide leg, the Y2K look is really in right now. And that's definitely true. But with men's jeans, I still find that you can sell those slim straights. So you can't take like, sometimes I think people take fashion too literally. They're like, well, people only buy wide leg, straight leg, that or loose fit. Well, that's not true. But that is the prevailing fashion right now. But some people still buy slim straight. Some people still buy athletic fit, tapered leg, you know. So you just can't take, I think sometimes people take the fashion trends too literally. But yeah, that stuff still sells. Next up is a vintage oarsman. J. Crew, check this out. So see on that tag how it's got the dude holding the oar? That's what they refer to as the oarsman logo. And this is a vintage one, men's size 15 and a half, 33. Kind of an interesting little pattern on it. I felt like it had Y2K vibes. So right now, like Y2K preppy is super in style right now. And so you can sell this oarsman stuff for good money. $28.99. This is a full asking price order right here. This was listed for 8 days. J. Crew. Let me know down below in the chat if you would have picked up this J. Crew shirt for $5 at a thrift. And be honest. It's okay to not know, but now you'll know if you didn't know. Now they do make that oarsman tag in modern shirts too. Like they've done like re-releases of a lot of that like Y2K style. They'll do it with pants, with like some wide leg pants and baggy, that kind of thing. And they have some shirts and stuff that are out there too with that oarsman tag. So you'll have to learn how to distinguish the new from the used. But the new stuff's been selling too. I sold a pair of like newer, like re-release oarsman pants the other day, and they sold for pretty good money. I want to say they sold for like $30 in used condition. So they're both out there, the vintage oarsman and the modern. And depending on the item, either one might be a pickup. So nice little flip here, 5 into $28.99 plus the buyer paid shipping. Only took 8 days to sell. They all don't sell that fast, but it's nice when they do sell that fast, right? Next up is an order for Tomislav. This is another mistake buy. I took this home. It had a small hole in it. I didn't realize it till I got home. I listed it on eBay. I pointed out the flaw. There's the pony there on the chest. It's just a regular like cotton polo Ralph Lauren short sleeve polo style shirt, right? And typically I'd sell this for like $19 to $21. I listed it for I think $15.99 because it had that flaw. I got an offer for $13 out the door. So I didn't mean to take this one home, but sometimes you take them home. You don't find the flaw until you get home. That's all right. I called it out in the item title, in the item description, and a close-up photo with a pointer pointing right at that flaw. So the buyer, Tomislav, knows exactly what he's getting into. And then I priced it at the bottom of the market. When you price items at the bottom of the market, you get a lot of looks, you get a lot of clicks, and eventually these items sell because someone's like, I don't care about that little flaw. I'll take the deal. I'll rather pay $13 for one with a little flaw than $19 for one. It's perfect. Those buyers are out there. And an example is we sold 2 items that fit that description just over the weekend. It happens. I don't want it to happen. I don't want to make those mistakes, but the reality is I am a human and I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. It's just part of the game. Got a pair of Under Armour pants right here. These are men's size 38 by 32 pair of golf pants. It's a little bread and butter piece for me that I've been picking up a lot more of over the last couple of years. I typically list them for about $22. This one sold on a Nifty best offer, $19.80. So my cross lister Nifty, when somebody likes something or likes something on Poshmark or Mercari or watches an item on eBay, 10 minutes later, Nifty will automatically send them a 10% off offer. I scheduled it that way. You can have it send a 7% off offer, a 15% off offer, whatever you want to do. Mine's set up to wait 10 minutes and then send a 10% off offer. So that's what happened right there. And I love that because this person could have been going through and looking at different Under Armour pants that are size 38, 32. They could have gone and hit the watch button on 4 of them And then 10 minutes later, they got a quick offer from me, whereas somebody else, like if you don't have Nifty, you could then going through your day, not knowing what's going on. And then 3 hours later, you send your offer to that buyer. But little did you know that I already sent the offer. My automation tool did. I already got the sale. That person's already got a pair of pants coming their way. And you were like, well, I don't want to have automation. I would rather just do it myself and send my own offers. I'm like, more power to you. We sell stuff like this every single day on these Nifty best offers. And oftentimes when I'm sleeping or when we're hiking or in the car or I'm at the thrift store and I'm busy otherwise doing other things, and Nifty sells stuff for me with those offers, closes deals. Super, super important for our business. So just looking through, that was the only eBay Nifty offer. Usually it's like 2 or 3 of these on each platform every day. So, but this is one right there. So out the door. Next up is an order for Joe. Did I make a thank you card for Joe? No, this one came in while I was pulling orders this morning. Every order, if you don't know, gets a thank you card right here. It's got a QR code that goes to my website, and it says, what does it say? We appreciate your business, right there. And it's got the website name on there. Where the heck is this? I get those made for about, I think they're like 3.5 cents a piece. I use Vistaprint. I've been using Vistaprint for business cards for over 20 years. Pair of REI pants right here. This is a men's Sahara. This is a convertible pant. These only sold for 15 bucks. I took an offer, but this is the same situation. They had like some little spots like right here on the side. So I just listed these too. This is like quick sale, right? I didn't even mark this as sold on my spreadsheet yet. This literally came in while I was pulling orders out in the garage. $4.29. Yeah, so this took 5 days to sell. Just listed these this week. Typically, this is going to be more like a $22 to $25 pair of pants. They're the convertible like zip-off pants from REI Co-op. It's our second REI item that we're shipping out today, right? Yeah. And but with that little flaw, I priced it lower in the market and then took a quick offer to get rid of them. So I paid $5 for these pants. Didn't realize the flaw until I was taking the photos. That's all right. Price at the bottom of the market. Get them to move quick. 15 bucks. I paid $5. It's a mistake buy, but it didn't cost us money. It just meant we made a really small profit on this one. Let's look at exactly the profit. It can't be much. But this is part of the business. So after shipping and fees, eBay's got to pay me out $11.40. I made $6.40 on this pair of pants, but they sold in 5 days on a mistake buy, and they're gone, and we made a couple of bucks in profit. So there we go. I get very few returns on items that are flawed because I'm really careful about calling it out in the item title, in the description, and then in the photos, having a close-up photo with a pen pointing right at the flaw so people know exactly what they're getting into. Sometimes my flat rate envelope label will be $10.45, and other times it'll be $9.15. Interesting. I don't know. I don't use flat rates anymore. I haven't used them really in years at this point, but I've never heard of like different prices on the flat rates. So I'm not really sure. I don't know the answer to your question there. Sorry. Would you mind sharing some of the whatnot sellers that you like? Yeah, I actually got hold on one second. I'll share with you a links like direct to some of the sellers that I really like. Give me 1 second. I'll pull this up for you. I think this is it right here. I got you. Love Vistaprint. See if that's the one. I think that's the right one. Yeah. Excuse me. So yeah, I just dropped that link down below in the chat. That's a link to my website, and it shows you a series of, I guess, 8 different sellers that I try. These are people that I've bought from And in all of these cases, these are people that have bought a lot of stuff from. And I think in all these cases, yeah, this is true. These are things I've bought from these people stuff for me, and I've also bought from all of these people stuff to resell on eBay and Poshmark. So I gave you that link down below there in the chat if you're interested. And I made that list like a couple months ago, and I took a relook at it. Like, are these still people I all trust, and are these still active sellers? And in all 8 cases, that is true. I've bought from all those people multiple times and have had good luck. Hey, Chris, would you pick up Perry Ellis? I don't typically pick up Perry Ellis. That doesn't mean that you didn't run into something from Perry Ellis that could be valuable. I would say just comp what you find and see if it's valuable. But I can't remember the last time I picked up Perry Ellis anything. It's not a great town. It's in the Inland Empire out in the desert. Gotcha. I've never heard of that. The Inland Empire. I've never set foot in the state of California. Some people only buy bell bottoms and boot cuts. There you go. And some people only buy skinny jeans. You just never know. I only sell shoes and electronics now, and I'm loving it. My thrift stores and flea markets have been a blessing. I love to hear that. Hope business is good for you. That Daydream. That's a cool name right there. I hope business is good. How do you go about finding good people on Whatnot and other platforms to buy from? Just trial and error, or is there something specific you look for? Just trial and error. I also know a lot of resellers. I've been creating reselling content since June of 2020. So we're talking about, it's got to be 6 years next month. So by being a content creator in the reselling space for that long, I've met a lot of great people, and yeah, that's kind of how I've met a lot of these people. But the rest of it is trial and error for sure. And for me, I buy more new tag stuff these days on Whatnot than I buy used stuff on Whatnot, and I think y'all can understand why. I put more of my focus on new tag stuff personally, but there's different ways to do it, especially if you trust somebody. All right, let's switch over to Poshmark. Well, let's see. We got coffee orders going out the door too, so let's see where we're at with that. Yeah, I'm going to ship out a coffee order here. So I got an order that came in over the weekend from Teresa and Robert. They buy 3 bags of our Black Mountain Dark Roast every month. They buy 3 bags of this. So here's our Black Mountain Dark Roast. We have 3 different roasts of coffee. It's all fair trade. It's all organic. It's all roasted fresh every single Thursday. Small batch, like best of the best, top shelf coffee. It's all roasted by Dynamite Roasting Company in Black Mountain, North Carolina. They have won Western North Carolina's #1 coffee roaster 13 years in a row, which is really impressive. #1, 13 years in a row. So they are our roasting partner. They are awesome. And coffee is our side hustle. So I went full time with the reselling business 5 years ago. And then 2 years ago, I was like, I need a side hustle now that my side hustle is the full-time thing. So we launched Chris at Peak Coffee in April of 2023, and that's our side hustle. So it's been a lot of fun learning about coffee. So we got 3 bags going out to Teresa and Robert, a regular customer of ours, and we really appreciate. Oh, I gotta grab. I might be out of my 3 coffee boxes in here. Is this it? No, that's too big. I gotta run to the garage real quick and restock on my 3. Oh, is this one? I take that back. I got 1 more. I have more just in the garage, but so yeah, if you want to check out our coffee, if you have any questions about coffee, I'm here for it. What's up, Jack? I'm going to drop a link down below in the chat. You can check out our 3 different roasts. We have a light roast, a medium roast, and a dark roast. They're all fair trade. They're all organic. This dark roast is a blend of 3 different beans from Honduras. All 3 are from Honduras. And the coffee is just, it's not going to be like your typical dark roast. A lot of people, when they think about dark roast, they think about just super roasty, like super bold, bitter. That's not this coffee. It's got a nice creamy finish to it. Yes, it's got a boldness, got a little bit of like a dark chocolate to it, but just such a creamy finish that you typically wouldn't expect from a dark roast. It is terrific. Obviously, we're biased, but the beautiful thing is when we worked with our roaster to come up with our dark roast. We went there and we tasted 3 different dark roast blends that they put together for us. One of them was actually a single origin, like not a blend. That was actually really good too. But they put together 5 different blends for us based on, we'd already had 2 lines of coffee through them, or 2 coffee products. So they knew what we'd like. We'd obviously talked a lot at that point. We were already 6-7 months into doing business together. So they knew what we liked. They put together 5 different roasts of the dark roast, 5 different blends, and we blind tasted them. And Kim and I chose our favorite one, and that's what this is. So it is a blend of 3 beans from Honduras. We love this coffee. I have what's left of a cup of iced coffee or cold brew. Kind of forgot about it. And that's our dark roast that I am sipping on right there. So thank you, Robert and Teresa. If you have any questions about the coffee, let me know. If you get a coffee order in during this live by just clicking at that link down below, I'll ship it out on the live. I'll give you a big shout out and all that stuff too. We'll pack and ship it right here. A lot of fun. I'd love to ship you a bag of coffee, or 2 or 3 bags of coffee in that case too. It's all fair trade. It's all organic. And it ships right here from Western North Carolina. And it's roasted right here in Western North Carolina too. Medium roast is the bomb diggity. That's our best seller, our Hooper's Creek medium roast for sure. Appreciate you shouting that out, Jack. Rainflower, there are auctions every night on YouTube. Ships right to your door. There you go. I was here for that. What's up, Hamhead? What's up to you, Jack? Hope you had a good weekend, my man. You always make me chuckle. What's up, Mira? Thanks, Chris. Have an awesome week. Wishing you an awesome week too. Thank you for the positive vibes. Thank you for sharing. For health reasons, I haven't been able to thrift much lately and need to find more online right now. Gotcha. I like the smart pivot. Hope you're back on your feet quickly. But in the meantime, smart pivot. Get some stuff online. I'm an hour north of Tampa near the Villages. I've got a few really good smaller thrifts near me. Lots of older quality brands and a lot of orthotic shoe brands. That makes sense. I should look into used golf clubs. A lot of money in used golf clubs in Florida for sure. I used to buy and sell a lot of golf clubs in golf bags, but I just don't find them as much around here. Have a nice day, Melinda. Have a nice day. Amazon 90% off deals. Nice. All right, let's ship some Poshmark orders. A healthy Poshmark weekend. And if you do get a coffee order in during the live and I don't see the notification, just let me know down below in the chat. I'll stop whatever I'm doing and we'll get you shipped out. So first one is a Tommy Bahama hat. I think it is this one. I believe it is this one. Got a whole bunch of these for $4 a piece. And they've been slowly selling off. All right, let's close out. I have like 1 million tabs open, y'all. Let's close some of this stuff out. Just want to make sure I grab the right hat here. Yeah, that's the one. So this sold for a best offer of $13. Not making a lot of profit here. So Poshmark takes a 20% fee. So on $13, they're going to take, what is that, $2.60 off of this. So that's going to leave me with $10.40 on something I paid $4 for $6.40. But these took no time to list. Most of these I have multi-quantity in. This is the last one of this one. But was this the best buy I've ever made? No. Am I mad about it? They've taken a while to sell? Not one bit. Part of the biz. Part of the biz. I'm going to use one of these free Poshmark boxes here. I'll just cut this down a little bit so it's not so ridiculous. Got some good sales here on Poshmark too. Maybe our best sale of the, yeah, that might be the best sale of the day in terms of like profit we got coming up too. Nice little blazer coming your way. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're having a good start to the day. I'm here for your questions about reselling or about coffee. And I love hearing what's going on with your business too. Let me know, like, how are things going? What's moving for you? What's not moving? What questions do you have? How can I be helpful? And if I don't know the answer to the question, chances are there's somebody in the live that might know the answer. How many people do we have in the live right now? Does it tell me? It used to tell me. It used to give me like a little number. I don't see said number now. That's strange. I used to be able to just look right up here. Oh, I see. They moved it. We got 58 people in the house. So if I don't know and a lot of these are like really smart resellers, people who are all different stages, just started, been doing it for a few months, been doing it for a few years. We also got some pro expert level people in the house too. So feel free to ask questions. We got a good crowd here. And most of them are pretty nice people too. Funny that ran into the blue duck shirt. Isn't that funny? Somebody commented on that video. Thanks for watching the YouTube video, by the way. And somebody commented on that video and said that like all the Goodwills in that area, like in Winston-Salem, like were flooded with those shirts for like a little while. So that's kind of interesting, right? I was not expecting to hear that. Just a little resize in here. Kim T says hi. T says hi. Hi. That's not my cleanest cut. My best box resizing I've ever done. Probably not my worst though either. That works. I see 53. Gotcha. I see 58. So we went up. Sale of the day. Whoops. Yeah, it's coming up. Morning, I'm late, but the coffee is excellent. Thank you, Nick. Oh, you got the new light roast. Yeah. What do you? Yeah. Tell me more. Tell me more. I'm glad you like that. We're freaking digging that light roast. That's our favorite light roast so far. I think we've done 10 of them now. All right, so that's the first one up. This one is a fun one. We've got a Athleta piece right here. I don't sell a lot of women's blazers, but we have one here. It's like an athleisure blazer from Athleta. I listed this for $40. This sold on a Nifty best offer of $36. So somebody, who is somebody? Carol came in and liked this item on Poshmark. And 10 minutes later, Nifty, my cross lister, sent her a 10% off offer, and she accepted it. So $36 out the door. I paid $5 for this Athleta blazer at a thrift store. It is called the Endless Prima Twill, if you care. It's a women's size 8 on this. So Poshmark is going to take 20% fees, so that means they're going to take $7.20. That's going to leave me with $28.80. We'll call it $29. And I paid $5, so profit of $24. One of the better sales of the day. Or of the weekend, I should say. Had a good weekend, by the way. Let's just go over some numbers. Really great week last week. What do we see here? April, May. Okay. So May 1st, that was Friday. Yeah, 20 units sold on Friday. That was our third best day of the year in terms of units sold, and the second best day based on dollars sold was Friday. Saturday, I sold 14 items. Sunday was a little slower, 10 items. It's funny because Sunday's oftentimes the best day of the week, but it was one of the slowest days of the week. And we already got 3 sales out the door today. But that's a nice one right there. So I shipped a ton of stuff on Friday and on Saturday. Those days were so busy. Last week, I also had a 20 sale day last week. I had two 13 sale days last week too, like 13 units. I've had in the last 12 days, I've had 3 20+ unit days, which is awesome. I typically see those spikes this time of year, like April into May. Saw it last year. Some of my best sales days were April and May, and we're seeing it again this year. So let's keep the gravy train going. Just really, yeah, but really heavy. Like Friday was crazy. 20 sales. I love that. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you had a good weekend of sales too. You save your cutoffs? What? You save your cutoff? I don't know what that one is. Do you ever source from Smiley's on the weekends? I'd love to see POV videos of that and you haggling with the vendors. You know what's funny? I've never been to Smiley's, and I live like right down the road from Smiley's. I've never once been there. I drive by it all the time. I've never been. I'm not a big rookie for sure. Not a big flea market type of guy. Just never, I don't know. I've gone to them before. Usually don't get a ton of stuff, and usually stuff that's priced above what I'm willing to pay. So very enjoyable and very much my favorite as well. Awesome. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. Hey, Chris, what do you do to keep you motivated? Lost my job due to medical issues, started the business, but really lost my motivation, although I love watching you, K-Way Shop. Oh, nice. Sorry to hear about you losing your job, and sorry to hear that you got like a little lull in motivation. You know, my best advice there, relying on motivation, I think is tough for a business owner, right? Because motivation comes and goes, and you're seeing yourself right now. It sounds like that you're in a point where motivation is not high. If your business is running on just your motivation, you're going to have ups and downs. Even really highly motivated people have ups and downs with motivation. I think what's instead best to run your business on is discipline. And this is something that was difficult for me too, because I wouldn't describe myself as like a real discipline guy. That's not one of my big strengths. I'm more of like an ideas, like futuristic, forward thinking sort of person. Teaching, sharing, that kind of thing is very natural to me. I don't wake up every day and I'm like, I just have this drive to execute consistently. It's just not how I'm wired. But I've made this business work because I lean into these habits and these routines that help me stay more consistent. So instead of relying on motivation, I just rely on like discipline. This is what I do on Monday. This is what I do on Tuesday. And that's how you see me show up every single Monday and do these lives. The only times that I won't show up for these lives on a Monday is if I'm traveling, which isn't very often, or if it's a holiday and I'm spending time with my family. But I show up every day for these lives, even sometimes when I don't really want to. I love doing these lives, but we all have days, right? Like where it's like, it'd be nice to just not do anything, right? Never mind like live or not live. And I think it's just, you got to find a way to make your business run on discipline and not run on motivation. Because if you run on motivation, you're relying on running out of gas. And I think you got to build systems, build strategy, and let your business ride on that. Don't let it ride on inspiration and fits of motivation. I think and I know it's the way I say it makes it sound easier than it is, right? But I think that's what you need to build into, is what are some systems, some routines that you can consistently do that are reasonable and realistic with your life and with your lifestyle and with your health or whatever is going on. That's, I think, what's going to work better. Motivation is going to come and go always. So if you're looking for motivation, I'd say you're probably looking for the wrong thing. Look for discipline, look for routine, look for system. Love the Winston and Greensboro content. Thank you, Cool Unique Finds. Your coffee rocks too. Thank you so much. I'm drinking the Black Mountain Dark Roast too. Got a little bit left here in my cup. I appreciate all the vibes. That means a lot to me. It really does. Got 2 Carhartts this weekend, both vintage and USA made, black quilted vest and a camo hooded zip up. $2 for a vest. Old fella gave her the camo one. Last sold was $349. Let's go. Nice finds. I love that. I think I was meant to be a reseller because my grandpa sold my stock at the flea market and my uncle sold sports cars and livestock too. Got it. It's like just kind of in your blood, you know? Cutoffs from the boxes. Do I save those? No. What would I do with those? Requesting permission to ask chat off-topic question. Have you ever tried Life cereal? And if it's every good, Life cereal is that's like that cereal that's been around for like a really long time. So chemo, I don't drink dairy or eat dairy. So I can't give you any cereal reviews, brother. If I had a bowl of cereal with milk, I would not have a good 24 hours moving forward. So, and nobody that would be in the near vicinity of me would have a good 24 hours if I had a bowl of cereal with milk. I've been looking for my motivation for a while. You might find it, but you got to find discipline instead. I'm so glad I've turned into one of my favorite YouTubers. I think I dislike about you and your content is I'm looking at clothes again. It's funny how many people out there, like resellers, that hate clothing. And to be honest, I don't really get it. To be honest, I don't really get it. When you watch me pack these items and just slide them into a little poly bag and fold it over and slap a label on it, I would think that you everything resellers would like that. You're welcome, Mira. You'll find some discipline. Just don't overthink it, right? Just to be like, all right, what's one thing I can build in on every Monday, right? That I can commit to. Don't try to build too much all at once, right? Just build habits one at a time by, add this one habit in, commit to that for a month, right? And then say, cool, now I'm going to add another habit to this because this one's on lock. I use cutoffs for backer boards for paper stuff and wrap CDs, cassettes, and cardboard. Gotcha. I don't sell any of that stuff. I sell clothes, so I don't need little pieces of scrap. Now, when I sold sports cards, then yeah, that's a different story. I used cardboard for that all the time. Life cereal is good. Any cereal with cinnamon is good in my opinion. There you go. That's the review that you were looking for, Chemo. You asked the right chat. You just asked the wrong person. What do you think about GameStop trying to purchase eBay? I don't know anything about that. Acquisitions and mergers and all that stuff that happens like Wall Street, sort of like one corporation buying another corporation. I don't pretend to understand anything about that stuff. I just don't. So I don't really have any thoughts about it. I don't know how that stuff works. I've been part of one acquisition at one company that I worked for, but that certainly doesn't make me any kind of expert on this kind of stuff. I just keep my head down and focus on my thing. I try not to, yeah. I mean, I get why people are interested in that story about GameStop and eBay. I just don't really have much to say about it or much thoughts about it. I'm focused on buying stuff and taking photos of it and slapping those photos online and throwing stuff in poly bags and shipping it out to people. I'll let the Wall Street people handle the Wall Street stuff. You should sell other stuff. So much other good small stuff, dude. I used to sell so many different things. Everything seller is how I started. A lot of glassware, a lot of sporting goods, collectibles. I'm just looking around. I still have some things that I pick up from time to time. I mean, lawn chairs, TVs, vintage stereos. I used to sell so many different things. And I've just, over the years, I sort of narrowed. And now it's clothing and shoes is what I do. I just built a system around moving clothing and shoes through this little house. I picked up blazers too. Thanks, Chris. You're welcome. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, let's get, where were we? We're in Poshmark sales, I think. Yeah, that Athleta sale. Great sale right there. Next up is an interesting piece. So I'm like you. I don't pick up a lot of FootJoy anymore. And this one's a FootJoy size small. The reason I picked this up is kind of a unique pattern here. And this is a really modern FootJoy, by the way, too. It's not like one of those old dated ones. It's a fresh FootJoy. Nice pattern. It only sold for $17 on a best offer, but I was like, I bet you I still pick up some of these FootJoys, especially in season like this. So I wouldn't go crazy with this. This took 45 days to sell. I paid $5, sold it for 17. Poshmark's going to keep just over $2 in fees on this thing. So that's going to leave me with $15. I'm going to make $9.50 off of this shirt. And I'm okay with that. No Country Club logo on that one. It was just a new, modern, like super crispy men's size small FootJoy. Now, I wouldn't go out picking up a ton of these. I don't buy and sell much FootJoy at all anymore, but certain pieces I do. I bought a wind shirt the other day. I'll buy the FootJoys, Dry Joys, rain jackets. I'll buy some of their like modern soft shell vests and things like that. But by and large, I'm not really picking up the golf polos unless it's like a kind of just a unique, different kind of pattern. Okay. There's a lot of outlet resellers that bring their stuff to Smiley's, lots of clothing piles. Last time I went last year, heck, that's where I picked up from one vendor 30 pairs of Flint and Tinder pants. Nice. I'm sure there's some good deals to be had. In theory, it seems like something I should like. Smiley's is outdoors. You can walk around and haggle or whatever. I've been talking about doing, ask Kim, I've been talking about doing a video at Smiley's for probably 3 years. And I've never gone to Smiley's and did a video, and it's so close. Part of it is I don't source on the weekends, and Smiley's is a Saturday and Sunday thing, and that's when we're going out like hiking and enjoying our lives. My wife Kim doesn't work on the weekends, so if I work on the weekends, I always do work a little bit on the weekends. I'm shipping out orders on Saturday. I'm listing some items, and I'm drafting content and editing content and stuff typically on the weekends on the couch before we get out and hike. So I just don't really have time to source. And that's why whenever we get to this season where garage sales are big on the weekends too, I always end up planning on going to garage sales and just don't go to very many because I just don't really work on the weekends. And several Huckberry brands too. Nice new tags. It's awesome. Good stuff. You have the link for that box cutter gadget. This, I don't think I have a link for one of these. I've had this one for so long. I don't even remember where I got it. It's a Husky if you care. This one looks really similar, but it's a 3-pack. Nobody needs a 3-pack. Oh, it's like almost the same one. Yeah, I got a link. This is like almost the same exact one I have. It's just a different color from Husky. I'll drop that link right there. It comes with it comes with 10 blades too, which is great. The last time I bought blades, I bought a pack of 100 blades, which are going to take me like a decade to use probably. Everyone at a flea market will make deals almost always. We did them for 10 years, lots of work, but it was fun. Nice. Get after that Smiley's gig. I want to see that. Maybe, I don't know. I just don't source on the weekends. I just don't do it. I just bought a new jeans. Don't know if you tell me. 2 packs, cousin. What? Next up is an order. We got a couple orders left here. Yeah, got a prana order. Nothing fancy here. I buy and sell a lot of prana, but it doesn't mean that all prana is good. This is kind of not so good prana. Just a organic cotton button-down shirt. Not even a nice pattern on it. This sold on Poshmark for a best offer of $15. This is a great example of just not great prana. The prana that I like selling, pants and shorts. The Bryans, the Prana Zions. Trying to think of some of those other like really good models that sell really quickly for me and usually for good money. Just do a quick search. Yeah, the Bryan pants. I sold some Bridger jeans lately, more Bryan pants. The women's Holly pants are a good one too, like women's Prana Holly pants. I've sold 2-3 of those this year. More Bryans, more Zions, more Bryans. I guess it's all Prana. Those are like mostly what I'm selling is. So anyway, this is my 13th Prana piece to sell, and I think it's my second shirt. I sell mostly pants from them. And anyway, these are out the door. $15. I paid $5. Would I buy these again? No, I'm not even sure why I bought this Prana shirt. I usually don't buy cotton Prana shirts. So I'm guessing that maybe this one sat around for a little while. Yeah, I picked this one up last April. So it took 1 year and 4 days to sell, and it sold for 15 bucks. So I'm not even sure why I picked it up, because I haven't really bought Prana shirts, especially a plain one like this. I'm wondering where I got it. Did I get in like a bulk buy or something? Why would I have bought this? But anyway, sold for 15 bucks. That's going to leave me with $12 after fees. And I paid $5, so I'm going to make $7. Not sure why I bought this, but it sold and we made a little profit on it. This is actually our best one of the day. It just happened to be on the bottom of the pile. So Brooks Brothers right here. This is a Regent Fit blazer, no pants, just the jacket. We can see it's got that Glen plaid pattern. Really, this pattern has been selling so well for me this year. Glen plaid. This sold on a best offer, $50 on Poshmark. So Poshmark's going to take their 20. Where is this? Is it 50? Yeah, 50. It's a size 44R, 100% wool. Really great pattern. This is on a modern Brooks Brothers tag, Regent Fit. Glen plaid is the real key right here. So 50 bucks on the best offer. Poshmark's going to keep 10 bucks in fees. That leaves me with 40. I paid $7 for this at the thrift store. So a $33 profit. This is actually the best profit of the day right here. 33 bucks. Not a lot of heavy hitters. A lot that were in like the $20 profit range. So let's go into Gary in Hernando, Missouri. I'll tell you how long this one took to sell. I don't feel like it took long. 36 days to sell on that. So that's our sale of the last 48 hours. I had some really good stuff go out the door on Friday and Saturday. High dollar stuff and just tons of volume. It was such a good couple of days. Just trying to look back at some of these sales on my spreadsheet. Sold a Stafford linen blazer for $49.50. That's a good one. Just looking at some of the big dollar ones. I sold some Carhartt bib overalls. That was Friday. $54.99. I paid $5 for those at a thrift store. Just like some really good high dollar stuff. Sold another blazer, Ralph Lauren, for $38.99. Just looking at the high dollar ones. Ariat FR shirt for $40. There's some really good sales like Friday and Saturday. It was awesome, like popping off. I just bought new jeans. I don't know if you can tell me. I already read that one. I'm not sure what you're saying there, Nadir. Sorry. Hey, Chris, thanks for all the great videos. You've encouraged me to start reselling myself. How long did it take you to start seeing some real profit after starting? Nicoderms, welcome aboard. Clarifying question. What is real profit? I don't define what you mean there. I don't know really how to answer the question, right? Does that make sense? It's kind of vague. Like, what is real profit to you might mean something different to Jack or something different to Bass and Coffee. So what are you really asking? And I'll try to answer that. Just sold something during the live. Let's go. Nice, Bass and Coffee. I like it. You have to tell us, have you seen those box resizers? I'm not sure what you're asking there. I love that you sold something on the live. Let's double check and see if I got any like live active offers or whatever. And you got another minute or so if you wanted to grab a bag of coffee before I log off. I'd love to ship you a bag of coffee right here on the live. So I'm going to drop the link for the coffee. This is our own fair trade organic coffee that we have roasted fresh from our roasting partners every single week. So I dropped that down below if you want to grab an order before I hop off. We'll ship it out during the live. Let's take a live glimpse into what the heck is going on eBay. So just got a sale right here. This is a really good one. I don't want to show the person's name. Got a brand new with tags, Rain Spooner. Found this at a thrift store for $10. It was priced up because it was new with tags. Sold for $69.99. Just came in a few minutes ago on the live. So great flip right there. 10 into 70. I'll estimate the profits real quick on that. 70 times, let's say 0.8 minus 10. It's going to be a $46 profit, give or take a few bucks on there, depending on how much the shipping cost is. So about $46 profit on that one. That one just walked in the door. Nice little rain spooner. I got to show you this piece. This is really cool. I'm going to share my screen on this bad Larry. Look at this piece. It's crazy. I got some low offers on this, but I knew the right person would come along. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. Hot rods. Look at that thing. And you can see, here's that tag. The Rain Spooner does a lot of like collab stuff, and they do a lot of like sports collabs. So you'll see this Rain Spooner, like this Rain Sports tag, it's fairly common. You can see brand new with tags right there. What an awesome shirt, right? Anyway, that one just sold. I'll ship that one out tomorrow, $69.99. So that's pretty exciting. It's exciting for me. Let's see. Stop sharing. I only resell to lose money. Don't ask me. I don't know what you're getting at. I guess maybe how long before you started seeing consistent sales, started thinking about this full time? I'll try to answer this question the best I can. So I started reselling as a side hustle in 2018, July. So it was a long time ago. I might not remember all the little details about like this time. But I was working full time, had a great job, enjoyed my job, had a great company, great boss, all that stuff. Actually, my boss at that job is actually still one of my closest friends. I was just texting with her this weekend. So I was in a really good situation, and I had this little side hustle that I picked up going to thrift stores out in Denver, Colorado. I would always go on Saturday mornings. I would get there at 9:00. I'd usually be done by like noon. It was a big thrift store, and that was most of my sourcing. I might stop like after work, like 1 or 2 days a week during the week. I might stop and go to 1 or 2 Goodwills type of thing. I mean, it was definitely a side hustle. And in the wintertime, I skied on the weekends, so I didn't have time to really source on the weekends. So because it was a side hustle, I didn't really need the money. I was just doing it because I enjoyed it. I wanted extra money, but I did it because I enjoyed it. But when it was ski season, I was going to be up in the mountains on the weekends. So the business sort of ebbed and flowed for a while. And then after I'd say about a year and a half, I was like, okay, I've gained a lot of knowledge in this business, and I'd kind of like to not have to be like full-time and going to the office all the time. There was some other like work stuff that transpired. You know how it goes. More responsibilities, no more money. I think we all have that, a lot of that in our backgrounds. If you've ever worked for somebody else, right? They always like to pile on the work to high performers, and they want to give you more and give you more and give you more to do, but they don't want to give you more money. So I'm dealing with that, and I'm like, I'd rather just do my own thing, right? And not have to wait for somebody else to reward me for doing a great job. So I started thinking about it probably a year and a half after reselling, and I got more and more serious about, I had devoted more and more consistent time to the business and got better at it, developed a better eye. And ultimately at about 2.5 years, I put in my notice at my job and finally took the leap of faith. I wasn't making enough for my reselling business at that point in time to be a full-time income, but I could project it based on like, all right, for the next 3 months, if I just really, really crush and have actually like 50 hours a week to do this instead of like having a 40-hour a week job. And it's never 40 hours, so a 50-hour a week job and just trying to hustle. I'm like, if I have all those hours, 50, 60 hours, I can grow this to a full-time income to replace my income in probably about 4 or 5 months was my goal. And I did. I didn't replace my income in that first year, like 100% of my income, but I probably replaced like 80% of my income, right? And I was quite happy with that. I was like, cool, I'm working for myself and I don't got to go to the office. It's my own thing. And I enjoy doing this thing. I'm having fun flipping stuff. And I was making 80% of my income basically, by the end of the first year that I was in business. So I was happy with that. And that's kind of I guess that's like what I can share about that. As far as like when did I start making like consistent money? I really don't know the answer to that question. I just don't remember. I would say probably within the first few months. It's just a matter, you get out what you put in, you know what I mean? So that's probably about as much as I kind of remember about the early years. That is a nice rain for sure. Cool rain. Yeah. Thanks, y'all. That's a fun sale. I'm 5 months into this part-time and I've netted over 800 in a month. And so far, if that gives them an idea, working triple that. There you go. There you go. It's a good, honest glimpse. It's easier when you're in the middle of it. I just don't to be honest, I don't kind of remember like what those early months were always like. And it didn't really consume me in those early months because I also had the full-time job. So yeah, it's kind of like hard to remember that. I do remember the first few months of being full-time. That was a lot of weight. That was a lot of pressure. And I felt like, as soon as that notice went in, I felt the pressure and I knew it was coming, but I felt like more pressure go right onto my shoulders. I mean, it was real. That I remember. eBay doing great. Nifty to Poshmark, Depop, and Mercari. Depop, good hits. Nice. But no wins at all on Poshmark. Do you think the automation side of Nifty would help out on Poshmark, or do I have to spend more time? So Poshmark, without automation and with automation, Poshmark is two different experiences, more so than any of the other platforms. Automation matters for Poshmark more than any of the other platforms. It's because of that sharing piece. So when I first started using automation tools for Poshmark back in 2021 in the fall, it took like a month, but like I doubled my sales. Like the first month when I started using automation tools, my sales went up by like 50%. But then by the next month, when like it had time for like, I got to like Posh ambassador status and just like all the sharing is happening, I doubled my sales on Poshmark by month 3. So from month 1 to month 3, I saw a double in sales. The first month was like a 50% increase, but then by the third month, I was at double, which is crazy. So that's a difference between Poshmark with automation versus Poshmark without automation. So if you want to get more sales on Poshmark, I think my answer is sort of, I don't have to tell you what to do. I think you get it. Tripling, nice. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate the input. Yeah. Champions, Todd Snyder at the bins. Let's go, Josh. Good find. Currently about 260 listings. That's great. That's awesome, Rob. That's awesome. It's called a carton box sizer. It's a cool device to resell boxes if they are too big. That's what you're talking about? Whatnot is now live on Nifty. Just got the email. Thanks for that heads up. I was kind of waiting for that email today. I kind of thought it was going to come today. I kind of had inside information there. You're in. Welcome to many. Oh, that's different. You made a referral to Whatnot. Oh, Whatnot is now on Nifty. So check this out, y'all. Thank you for that heads up, Tracy. So I'm going to do a quick shared screen here. So this is hot off the press. This email came in at 1:02 p.m. Eastern time, 53 minutes ago while we're live. So Nifty joined the live. So you can now use Nifty to directly cross-list to Whatnot. I've been doing it now for a couple of weeks because I was in on the beta test for it. So I've already sold one thing on Whatnot, which is cool. So it says you can now manage your Whatnot inventory alongside your other marketplaces. Here's how to get started. So first, you just got to connect your Whatnot, and it's suggesting like you got to like have Nifty log into it, right? It's suggesting that you do a sync, and then it's suggesting make sure you do this. I forgot to turn on the auto delisting. Do that in the settings because then when stuff sells on eBay, it'll delist it off of Whatnot. You want to turn on that auto delisting. It won't automatically do that for you. I didn't do that in the first few days, and I was like, what is going on? And it just walks you through. So this is this email is here. This is it's live, and it's not just beta. This is everybody is now welcomed in. So this is like the mass email to all Whatnot or all Nifty users. So you can now cross list to Nifty. So what's going to happen is you are going to be able to see this when you go into your Nifty, if you're a Nifty user. So I'm going to go to inventory, and you can see I have stuff already cross-listed over onto Whatnot. You can see. What you doing? If you come in here, you got to take photos. Yeah, you can see I already have stuff. It's going up onto Whatnot. So these are new listings that I just pushed through this morning, and through I use the AI listing tool. So um, this, yeah, it just automatically puts it up to Whatnot. So let's go ahead and do a draft right now. Let's do a pair of BKE Harper jeans. Just double check my photos and everything, fine tune them if I need to. I love like fine tuning the photos on here. It makes it like really easy to do, way easier than on eBay. Sometimes I rearrange them a little bit. All right, these are up. This is a women's pair of jeans, right? We're gonna comp this pair of jeans too. What did I say they were? BKE, excuse me, Harper. BKE Harper. Yep, these are women's jeans. So there's 490 of these listed currently on eBay, but that's new and used. Let's filter this to used. 473 used BKE Harper jeans listed on eBay. So let's go to sold now. 98 sold. So that's like a 20% sell-through rate. I would have thought that would have been higher for BKE Harper jeans. And the sale prices kind of reflect that, kind of lower than a lot of the other BKE jeans. We're seeing 22, 25, 20, 15, 14, 25. Wow. Who would have thought that bootcut BKE jeans would have such low comps? 22, 25. Like this is such a hot style right now. 25, 20. If this is a men's pair of jeans, this is a $35 pair of jeans. 25. I guess the BKE women's boot cuts just aren't as hot as we thought they were. Well, that's kind of interesting. And what are most of the active listings going? They're got them listed 21, 14, 90, 21.99. All right, so I guess I'm going to price these at like $24.99, and I would have thought that these would be worth more, but I guess not. So we are going to go ahead and list these. Now this listing, I just dropped the photos into this listing, and Nifty wrote this item title. I haven't changed anything. It just wrote that. It put in like all the item specifics. It wrote this description right here, and it put in like all these item specifics in here, put in all these keywords and all this. So when I talk about the importance of keywords, when you have AI like Nifty, and this is dialed, like this is so much better than it was like 10 months ago when I first started using the Nifty AI. They keep making it better. And that's just awesome. So we're going to price this. All I'm going to do is price it at $24.99. You can see the SKU is already at G7. So that's the bin out in the garage that's in. It's got all these style tags, Western, Cowboy, Rugged. I did not enter those. That was what Nifty did. It's got the Poshmark. All this stuff is all filled out, including the style tags. eBay, look at this. It went to BK Butler as the brand. So we got to make a quick update. I don't know why it got BKE right up there. Why did it get it wrong here? Very strange. Got to double check stuff with. Oh man, give me a break. Got to double check stuff with AI. But everything else looks good. It got the inseam. It got the yep. Change that. And this is the Whatnot right here. So this is all I have to do to get this on to Whatnot 2 is choose the condition, which is new, excellent, shipping profile 1 to 2 pounds. And I'm going to hit list here. It's got to list on all 4 platforms at the same time. So those were photos that I dropped in this morning that I took for a listing. So I'm up on 4 platforms. I'm going to refresh this now, and you're going to see that. Probably taking a minute. Oh, those are drafts. Sorry, I was in the wrong thing. It's so it's already listed right here. You can see it's on all 4 platforms right there. So it's happening, y'all. If you want to jump in on this, I'm going to drop a couple of links for you. First, if you've never used Nifty before, you want to check it out, you want a full 7-day trial, that link is down there below in the chat. I just dropped that there for you. You're also going to want to apply to be a seller on Whatnot. This is important. So I'm going to drop a link for that too. So this is going to be my Whatnot seller invite link. And what you'll do is you'll get quicker approval if you use that. You'll also get some other perks. Like when you hit certain sales goals, you might get some bonuses too. So I just dropped that seller invite link for Whatnot. Even if you're already on Whatnot as a buyer, there's a approval process that you have to go to become a seller. And that is so much quicker if you just use the link that I dropped down below in the chat. So that's all you need to do is to get started. You want to apply to be a seller, and then you want to connect your Whatnot. I'm going to show you one thing that's super important. I'm going to click on automation right here. Oops, I got to share my screen one more time. I'm going to get to some questions here in a second. I just want to show one more thing. So once you get your Nifty or Whatnot connected, you'll have to go to settings and you'll have to go down here. See how it says signed in? Under settings is where you'll want to connect your Whatnot first. And then you're going to want to go to automation. Nope, sorry, that's not where it is. You want to go back to settings, I think. Yep. See where it says sales detection under settings? That's where you want to turn on Whatnot. It won't manually turn that on. It took me a couple days to realize it. I had to go in here and turn on that auto delist. So if something sells on Poshmark and eBay, you want to give Nifty permission to go and delist it from Whatnot. Super, super important, or you're going to get double sales. Luckily, I didn't get any double sales. I just realized, hey, how come my auto delisting is not working? And I caught it after a couple days, but that's how you will catch it before it becomes a thing. All right, let's get to some questions here. This is a big deal. Thank you for sharing that, Tracy, by the way. History of my reselling journey. History of my reselling. Are you going to share your history of your reselling journey? Excellent, thanks. Is there a way to not sell using lives on Whatnot? Yep, it's a marketplace. So people you can just go on to Whatnot and you can just search the marketplace. I'll actually do that right now. So share the screen. Great question. So here I am in Whatnot. And we can see all these lives here. I can go into any of those live streams and I can buy stuff. And by the way, if you're not signed up for Whatnot, I'm going to drop another link down below that will get you a $15 credit to sign up for Whatnot as a buyer. So if you don't have a Whatnot account at all, I just dropped a link down below. Sign up with that link and you'll get a free $15 credit when you complete your sign up. So that's awesome. But I can search Whatnot just for products here. So I can search for like Polo. I just cross-listed a bunch of Polo Ralph Lauren. I'll do plaid button down. See if some of my listings come up. I'm curious. So see how this is just this is the marketplace. Look who that is. You know that guy, K-Way. There's more K-Way. Radiant. Hey, Radiant, you were in the live earlier. Radiant's got listings that are popping up. Bunch of K-Way Polo Ralph Lauren's in here. Look at all these. That's all K-Way. Adams Family Values. I don't see any of mine. Oh, there's one. There's a Chris at Peak one. There's another one. There's a 2-pack right there. That's mine. And here's more. A whole row of Chris at Peak right there. So you can search through and you can find stuff and you can just go buy something. So if we wanted to go to Radiant's listing here, nice listing. Get this Polo Jeans Company Ralph Lauren shirt. We can see, we can make an offer or we can buy it now. We can see it's $15 plus $5.48 shipping right there. So just like a marketplace, just like Poshmark, just like eBay, whatever, you can list stuff in the marketplace on Whatnot. I sold something over the weekend on Whatnot and I haven't done a live in over 2 years on Whatnot. Nice. I now see Whatnot in my Nifty settings. What? There you go. Are you going to cross list buy it now? Yep. I had 125 cross listed last week. And then I got that first sale over the weekend. So I went and did another 125 last night. So I got 250 listings up on Whatnot right now. Takes me less than 10 seconds per listing to get them over onto Whatnot. Doesn't seem worth the effort. One sale in 2 weeks. I got to I had like 2 weeks ago is when I got access. So I probably cross-listed like 10 items. Like all my new items that I listed that day went up over onto Whatnot. So I had 10 listings total 2 weeks ago. And then as I went through, every time I added a new listing, I just had it go over to Whatnot, if that makes sense. So my new listings automatically go to Whatnot as I'm putting them out there because I use the AI lister. So I'm not like cross-listing, I'm just adding new ones. So slowly over the last 2 weeks, I had like 125 items up by Friday and I got my first sale. And then, so yesterday I sat down, I was like, I'm going to cross-list a bunch of old stuff over there. So I added 125 more. So I think you may be misunderstanding. It's not like I had all 1,400 listings on there for 2 weeks. I had, started with 0, got to 10, got to 20. You get the idea. History of reselling journey. Found Chris and Jason roughly in July, summer 2020 during COVID. Watched videos for 6 months and was fascinated by the income stream. Had randomly sold a few items on eBay. So I didn't realize that I was that I didn't realize that I knew I was part of your journey. I didn't realize that you were really kind of getting started. That's cool. My account dates from 2013, though I would do this for some extra fun money, $50 to $100 a month. January 1st, 2021, started buying, listing, and selling on eBay, started selling right away. Good advice from Chris and Jason with proof of concept working. I bought a scale, thermal printer, a few supplies. I invested about $400 of my own money, and within 6 to 8 weeks, paid myself back. There you go. This is the real journey right there. And Nick Smith crushes it, by the way, as a side hustle. He's my vintage Levi's guru. Thank you for sharing all that, Nick. I think there's more coming too. Does Whatnot have a limit to the number of picks like Depop? I don't think so. Let's take a look. So I just listed an item to Whatnot. I'm going to go to it. View listing. I think this one has a lot of picks. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That listing had 13 pictures because remember I take my measurements in my photos. So 13, the maximum is going to be something above 13. Hope that answers your question. And made this side hustle 100% self-servicing 2021, 2022. Grew my inventory to about 600 to 800 as a side hustle. That's crazy. And maintain that now, work about 10-ish hours a week on average at the side hustle. Wow. 10 hours a week and you're maintaining that 60 to 80 items. That's awesome. Listing on Depop as well, 2023. Added Poshmark and Mercari since about 2022. We used the money to pay for a vacation fund and we net about $20K a year for vacations. I have a corporate job. $20K a year as a side hustle. That's serious, man. That's serious. Director of corporate payroll that I love. This little side hustle. Thanks, Chris. That's an awesome. Thank you for sharing that journey. A short story from Nick Smith. So yeah, I mean, if that's not inspiration there too, this is a guy who's got a serious full-time job that he loves and obviously does a good job at. If you know Nick Smith, you know he's doing a good job with his job. And he's making $20K a year net as a side hustle with a legit director of corporate payroll. I mean, that's a job where you have responsibilities, you have people, and you're making sure that people get paid. That's a serious job. And he's running $20K as net as a side hustle. How impressive is that? If Nick can do it, anybody can do it, right? How much is just Nifty cross-listing tool without the AI listing, or is there even an option? I believe that is $35 a month. But given what I know about your store, you'd be losing money not to get the full thing for $70 a month. It would pay for itself in a couple of days. Every month, you're like, oh my gosh, $70 a month for the automation and for the cross listing. You're like, that's so much money. But you're gonna get you only need to get 5 extra sales. Say you average $15 profit per item. You would need 5 extra sales a month to just pay for the subscription would be paid for itself just from 5 extra sales. You'll get those 5 extra sales in the first couple of days. That's what happens with me. It's usually one day. If I just look at the sales that I got from Nifty, like the auto offers, or from the fact that I'm listing on multiple platforms, just from the sales that are like on Poshmark or on Mercari or whatever, it's going to be usually the first day of the month. Now it's paid for my Nifty and extra profits from that first day. And then the next 29 days of the month, or 30, depending on the month, are basically, the way I look at it is it's free. So now I have this, basically I have a little employee who's delisting and relisting all these items, a little employee who's immediately sending offers to likers and watchers 10 minutes after they like or watch the item. I have sharing happening thousands of times a day, right? That somebody's doing. And after the first day, the extra profits paid for it, it's free for 29 days, is the way I look at it. So if your business is a little smaller, maybe it takes 2 or 3 days to break even. But the way I look at it is you need 5 extra sales to make the profit to cover your entire month for Nifty. And that's with the full bells and whistles. And there's just no way that it won't pay for itself with your business, Bass and Coffee, in just a matter of 2, maybe 3 days every month. And the AI feature alone is worth it. Yeah. I mean, when you look at some of these the competition to Nifty that's out there, you're usually either choosing one or the other. You're choosing a really good cross lister that does a crappy job with the automation, and they're going to charge you like $50 a month. Or you're getting a really good automation tool that doesn't have cross listing built into it, in which case you're also going to need to get a cross lister, and that automation tool might be like $30 or $35 a month, right? You're talking about $70 a month, everything into one login, and you're going to be able to cross list from eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Depop, Etsy, and whatnot. You're going to have the AI listing built in. You're going to have all the analytics built in there for you. The automation tools on all those platforms, the delisting and relisting, the sharing, the auto offers. You're going to have all that for $70. All you need is 5 extra sales a month from that tool in order for it to make sense. And to give you an idea, I know you're not on Poshmark right now. I'll tell you how many sales I had last month on Poshmark to give you the idea of like the idea that that might not work for your business, Bass and Coffee, is wild to me, because just last month on Poshmark, I sold 81 items for $3,244. The tool cost me $70 and it got me $3,244 on sales just on Poshmark with 81 units sold. So I broke even after 5 of those sales. That means I had 76 more sales throughout the course of the month, thanks to the AI cross listing. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, that's 2.7 sales a day. And here's the thing, March was even better. I sold 94 items on Poshmark in March for $4,084. Why would I quibble about a $70 a month tool that allows me to get $4,000 in sales that month? So $4,084 in sales on Poshmark in March alone. Subtract the $70 a month fee, that leaves me with $4,014. Like, after you subtract the fee, it's like, sure, okay, that's a great deal. I'll take that trade-off anytime. That's 3 sales a day that I had in March on Poshmark. 94 items out the door. So yeah, I mean, I get why people don't want the sticker shock of something like $70 an hour, or $70 a month. But when you put it into perspective about what it does for my business, it's insane. And that's not even taking into account the time that it gives me back, that I could spend time with family or go hiking, or that I can just reinvest that time into the business and make more profit. Do you see what I mean? It's like hiring an employee, right, for $20 an hour. And I know that if I go do work, I can make $60 an hour with that. If I give them 10 hours of work, $20 an hour, and those 10 hours I can go and do $60 an hour worth of profit type of work. It's the same thing when you think about Nifty. It's like, I can give Nifty $70 and that can give me all kinds of hours back, so I can go make more money. And Nifty's already going to make me extra money by cross-listing on a Poshmark, Mercari, and now onto whatnot and whatever. If you want to do Depop, you can do that too. Starting out and trying to build consistency with listings is a good rule of thumb to always list a minimum of 1 item per day and build that inventory as it grows. I don't know. You're going to get different answers from different people. The whole idea of the eBay algorithm or the Poshmark algorithm, it's like voodoo witch magic, and everybody interprets the voodoo witch magic about what the algorithm really is doing in different ways. But yes, all these algorithms, eBay, Poshmark, whatever, they like activity. So does listing frequently and on a regular basis help? Sure. Sure. Is it realistic for most people to devote time, like one time per day to list? Or do a lot of people just sit down on Saturday and, on your day off and knock out, 20 listings or something like that? Look, whichever works best for you, I think works best. One per day, I don't really know that that's going to, you know, it, I don't, I just, I'm skeptical that you're going to see a difference by listing one per day versus listing 7 on Saturday. I would say the more important thing is just build the hustle around the time that you have rather than trying to build your hustle around a voodoo witch magic algorithm. And you're going to talk to other resellers who have different takes on that. Do I think being consistent helps? Absolutely. But does that make sense for everybody? Maybe not. I was sweating there, was trying to finish shipping before your live ended. Nice. How does Nifty cross list the shipping cost of a flat rate $8.95 on eBay over to Posh or whatnot? Great question. Poshmark is flat rate shipping up to 5 pounds. So you don't enter weight into Poshmark and you don't enter dimensions. So Nifty does not take that information from eBay and put it into Poshmark because Poshmark doesn't take that information. Whatnot it does. Whatnot it's based on weight. What I do is when I do my listings, Bass and Coffee, I'll just give you an idea here. I'll just go to edit that listing that we just looked at. We'll look at this BKE Harper again, and I'm going to show you exactly what's going on here. Is this going to work? No, let's do a new one. Let's do a new listing. Let's just start with a fresh listing. We're going to go through the whole process here. Just give me a second. I'm going to pick one that makes sense. Okay, we're going to do this territory ahead shirt just because I don't have to comp it and stuff. I already know the price. So let's do that. Would that be helpful, Bass? Well, we're going to do it either way, whether it's helpful or not. So here's another listing that I drafted today. I'm going to go edit draft on this. This is a territory ahead shirt. You can see how I do my listings now where I have the measurements right there in the photos. So I'm just going to look over this listing really quickly, just do a couple little quick adjustments to my photos here. Color looks good. Resize that a little bit. Cool. Resize this a little bit. Cool. All right, so it wrote the item title for me, the Territory Ahead Men's XL Cotton Red Striped Long Sleeve Button Down Shirt. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and remove long sleeve because I want the word Southwestern in there. And I'm sure it's got some keywords down in here. It does. It has Southwestern already as a keyword down here at the bottom too. But I just made that one little quick change. I like using like little keywords like that. So I did that. Now we can see I have not priced this item yet. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. But the shipping cost, I already have flat rate stuff put into here. Like I have templates. So for shirts, it's $6.95 on eBay and it's a 15-ounce rate. So it's already programmed in. So when I go down to eBay, check it out. See how it says 15-ounce rate, $6.95. I already set that up for all shirts. All shirts, $6.95, 2-day shipping, 15-ounce rate, 12 by 9 by 2. So that's like already in my shipping policies, which you set up right here. You can see $6.95, $8.95, $9.95, $12.95. So the shirt, I selected that shipping policy and it loads in 15 ounces, 12 by 9 by 2, $6.95 shipping, 30-day money back. All that stuff's loaded in there. Mercari, you can see same thing. It pulled it down in here, 12.92, 0.15. And I just choose this shipping label right there and I'm done. Whatnot, same thing. Shipping profile. I have to choose it here on this case because it's new. They haven't made it so the shipping goes right over the weight. I'm sure they'll fix that. But now I just do 12 to 15 ounces. I checked condition, pre-owned, excellent. They said they're going to fix this too, so it'll just steal that. But now from the other listing or from my main card. So now all I got to do is go up here. I'm going to do $24.99 on this shirt. Nice competitive price. I've been selling these pretty well lately. And it loads that price into all the different platforms, including Whatnot all the way here on the bottom. I'm going to hit list item. So all I did there was I took photos of that item, loaded it into Whatnot, and chose that $6.95 like shirt rate that I have, and it automatically puts in the 15 ounces. It puts in the 12 by 9 by 2 because I already programmed it. It writes the item title. It writes the item description. I just make a couple little tweaks, make sure everything's right, double check my photos, and I hit list on that. And so the fact that I have to add it to Whatnot now takes me an extra 3 seconds per listing maybe when I'm going through that process. I just have to hit two things. I have to select pre-owned excellent, and I have to select the shipping rate, which was 12 to 15 ounces in that case. That's all I had to do, and I was done. So it's like an extra 3 seconds to get it over to Whatnot. Why not? I'm happy to invest 3 seconds on my 70 to 80 listings a week. What is that in math? 3 seconds times, we'll say 70 listings. It's 210 seconds divided by 60. That's 3.5 minutes a week that I have to invest into having 70 items listed onto Whatnot. That's fine with me. And if in that 3.5 minutes of work, if that gets me 2 extra sales a week, I'd say that's pretty good. 3.5 minutes, 2 extra sales a week, I'll take that. If it gets me 5, that'd be even better. I work full-time, also made $17K net last year and track to double this year. Let's go, 707. Vacation money, and also hoping to start paying the kids college. We'll have 2 kids full-time next year. Yeesh, that's a lot of money, but you're doing great. That's awesome. Nifty changed the game for me. I can't wait to add Whatnot. There you go. I haven't used any of my own money, started my selling things I had in the house since December 1, 2025. I've sold over 180 items. Let's go, Rob. $3,600 in sales, netted over 3, just getting started too. How many businesses are you going to make $3,000 as a side hustle in the first few months in business with no debt, right? Like no physical debt, no rent, no lease, you didn't have to purchase a franchise. You don't have to pay franchise fees. It's crazy. Do you know if Nifty will work with Facebook Marketplace? It does not currently work with Facebook Marketplace. What's up, Kelly? Welcome in. Good to see you. I'm a couple minutes behind on the comments, but Kelly, hope you're well. Appreciate your vibes. I use Spadeberry for the AI listing because I like the title structure it creates. I would love to have that automation cross-listing Nifty offers. So you can manipulate the way, the title structure. There's a way that you can go in and change your title structure on Nifty AI so that it would match whatever it gives you onto Spadeberry. My guess is that Spadeberry probably doesn't know something that Nifty doesn't know in terms of what's the better title structure. That would be my guess. I don't know that Spadeberry, that I would trust them better than I would trust Nifty, especially because Nifty is working on 5 different platforms. Yeah, but everybody trusts their different things. But you can manipulate it. You can tell it exactly what title structure that you want to do. I don't mess with it. I like what they do, and I trust that they got it figured out. Break is over. Hope you're well. I appreciate the vibes. I hope I caught you, Kelly. Hope you're doing well. I do calculate weight by you. I do calculated by weight and use the Nifty shipping presets, and it updates all platforms at once. I have 6 different presets set up. Perfect. I think I have 5, so we're doing about the same thing. Do you have to cross-list your items from Nifty to Whatnot individually, or you can do a bulk cross-list? No, there's no bulk cross-listing. You would take somewhere between 5 and 10 seconds per item probably to list them over. So if you have, we'll call it 6 seconds, it'll take you per one. No, we'll call it 10 seconds. So if you have, I don't know how many listings you have. If you have 500 listings and you want to cross-list them all to Whatnot, and it takes you 10 seconds per listing, that's 5,000 seconds divided by 60. It'll take you 83 minutes. So it'll take you an hour and a half, essentially, an hour and 23 minutes to cross-list 500 listings from whatever you have, from wherever you're at now over to Whatnot. So I just recently upgraded from Nifty cross-listing to include automation, and today I am shipping out 17 items from Poshmark. That's crazy. I just recently upgraded from Nifty cross-listing to include my automation. That's crazy. 17 items from Poshmark in one day. That's amazing. I only have 450 items in my store, worth every penny. Think about that. 17 sales on Poshmark from a 450 item closet. That's crazy results. I think you've already mentioned it, but what is it? The fastest way to get listings on Whatnot? I can walk you through the process right now. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to share my screen, and I will find an item that is not currently on Whatnot, and I will cross-list it. Let me just bring up current listings. I just cross-listed a whole batch of them last night while watching TV. Perfect. Here's one. So let me share the screen. So this is the exact process. I'm just going to do this new Brooks Brothers corduroy shirt here. I'm going to click list on whatnot. You can see it's already on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. I'm going to click list on whatnot. And I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. There's a couple things that I need to change. Condition. I'm going to hit pre-owned oh, sorry, this is new tags. New tags. Shipping program profile. For some reason, this shipping profile is already loaded in, so I didn't even have to click that. And now I'm going to hit list on whatnot. And we can see that that's up on whatnot. We'll do this Orvis right here too. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, change the condition to pre-owned excellent. It's already got the shipping profile loaded in there. I'm going to hit list on whatnot. So 10 seconds is actually overestimating how long this is going to take. Here's a pair of outdoor research pants. I want to get this over onto whatnot. I'm going to go condition, pre-owned excellent, weight 1 to 2 pounds, list on whatnot. So that, I mean, we're talking less than 10 seconds an item. I got a new Dunning golf shirt right here. Let's get that over. I'm going to change that to 12 ounces. Condition, used, list on whatnot. That's all we're talking about right here. And again, when I list new items, it automatically pushes it to all 4 platforms now. I just do that on the front end. But to list all my old stuff, I'm just going to have to take these few extra seconds. Adidas golf pants. Condition, used, list on whatnot. New FootJoy. I'll get some work done while I'm talking to you. New FootJoy. Condition, new, list on whatnot. Joseph A. Banks blazer, size 50R. Size 50. I have to enter the size because whatnot doesn't have the size 50R. Condition, pre-owned excellent, 1 to 2 pounds is already in there. List on whatnot. Like whatnot only has like small, medium, large, extra large. It doesn't have like 50R for a suit, so I just had to type it in, that's all. So that page is all done. We'll go to the next page. Just crush these out. A lot of 2 new Visconti black shirts. Let's push them over on a whatnot. Scroll down. 1 to 2 pounds. Condition, pre-owned excellent. Yes, size is right. It's not vintage clothing. This is modern. I'll just switch that. Boom, list on whatnot. You get the idea. Just easy, easy, easy. Again, I'm going to drop a couple links for you. If you aren't selling on whatnot already, all you're going to have to do is follow this invitation link that I'm dropping down below in the chat right there. You're going to click that link. You're going to sign up. It's going to ask you for your information about your inventory, whatever. Because you're using my seller invite link, the idea is like, okay, Chris has a seller link. He's trustworthy, right? So you'll get a faster process going through that approval thing. So we already had a couple people sign up yesterday, and like literally I saw that they had already gotten approved like within minutes of them going through that process. So click that link, go through, go and sign up. That's my invite link to whatnot. And you'll just go through the process and you'll get approved nice and quick with that link. If you haven't signed up for whatnot at all, like not even as a buyer, I'm going to give you another link. This one's important because you'll get $15 credit. So you'll walk into whatnot as a buyer with $15 in your pocket if you click that second link right there that I dropped. So the first one is the seller invite. The second one is the buyer invite. If it were me, I'd do the buyer invite first. I'd get my $15 credit, and then I would go to that seller one. But if you already have a whatnot account, you can't get the $15. But you get the idea. Spadeberry also always starts with brand type, gender, size, attributes. Brand type, gender, size. I think that's pretty much how Nifty does. I don't know. Is it different? Yeah, I mean, you can put it. You can tell Nifty to put whatever order in you want. So if you're like, there's a whole bunch of tech and sports devotees, and I'm not saying you're one of them, but there's all these tech and sports devotees where Tekken taught people to do things a specific way. And he says, this is how you sell on eBay, and here is the process. And there's all these people, I meet them out in the wild all the time at thrift stores and all these places. They say, do you follow tech and sports? I'm like, yeah. And they start rattling off like a bunch of tech and sports, like stuff that he's taught. He teaches a very specific thing. And all these people, I'm not saying you, Bass and Coffee, think tech and sports knows the best way and the only way to sell on eBay and Poshmark. And these people follow him verbatim. I've never seen anything like it. It's a bunch of tech and robots out there. He's a smart guy. He's sold a lot of stuff, and he's he's very well spoken, very convincing guy. He does a great job. I will not say a single bad word about him. But there's these people out here who follow everything he says like it's scripture. And I just think that there's other ways of doing things, especially since, people sell on other platforms too. eBay is a platform, and in Tekken's world, and what he taught, eBay is the platform. And the way that we talk about things over here is that eBay is a platform, and that there's multiple ways to be successful on eBay. And we teach people not to be beholden to sell-through rates, by the way, because sell-through rates, we teach people to use them as a guide, not as scripture, right? Don't let sell-through rate be your boss. Let it be a guide. I pick up low sell-through rate items. If I can price them below the market, I can be literally the next sale. Sometimes my lowest sell-through rate items are my fastest sales, because if you price it right, you can get really fast sales. So there's multiple ways to do this business and to be successful. And I think there's all these people out there who are so convinced that there's a title structure that works better. And I'll be honest with you, I think people are they overvalue certain specifics. And I'll just say that Tekken's not wrong. Tekken's great. Never say a bad word about the guy. I just think people have to think a little bit for themselves too, and realize that there's multiple ways to be successful. And I'll leave it at that. There's a lot of people. I meet some tech and sports worshipers when I'm out in my world. And these are people who say they'll pass on certain items because the sell-through rate isn't like 80% or something like that. And I'm like, cool. But if I just price it at like $3 below the average sale price, my sell-through rate can be 100%. Yeah. Anyway, you get the idea. Use your brains, y'all. Use your brains. Know that there's multiple ways to be successful in this business. There's not a way. Which platform are you using? I just got on. I was just demoing Nifty, if that's what you're asking about. And I wouldn't listen to me. Like, I wouldn't, like, if I told you a certain title structure that you have to use and that's going to be the best way, I'd take that with a grain of salt. I would not say something like that, because I don't think anybody really knows what is the right title structure. You're talking about witch cauldron, witch magic, black cauldron kind of stuff. Use your brains, y'all. And use whatever platform you want. If you don't like Nifty, don't use Nifty. My job is to just, I see my job is to tell you exactly what I'm doing and why. And sometimes the why is like, well, that's just the way I do it. And then you're going to say, well, I'm just going to do things my own way too. And I think that's smart to do too. All right, that's our little demo of Nifty. If you have any questions about that, but that's really big news. Nifty adding a new platform, especially a platform that's growing as quick as Whatnot is. Whatnot doubled in sales, like doubled in total GMV from 2024 to 2025. Incredible growth. It's the second fastest growing selling platform in the business. TikTok Shop is actually the fastest growing right now, but Whatnot's right behind it. The size of Whatnot right now is already bigger than Poshmark in terms of total sales. So yeah, you want to talk about a platform of like what's next? I would even say that Whatnot is probably right now. It was what's next probably 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. Whatnot is what's now. Doubling in sales from 2024 to 2025 is incredible. And it's already bigger in total sales as a platform than Poshmark as we speak right now. And it's continuing to grow. So to me, the idea of getting on Whatnot, because there's just so much potential moving forward as that platform grows. So, and as shoppers get more used to using Marketplace, right now it's largely a live selling platform. Most of their sales are going to be live selling, but people aren't dumb. They know how to use the search bar at the top, and they'll look for what they're looking for. They'll look for what they're looking for. Some quick updates. I got an offer here. No, I don't. Oh, I do. So I got a Brooks Brothers wool blazer here, size 46L. Really nice blazer here. So Brooks Brothers, this is metal buttons on a really, really modern blazer. Textured navy blue, silver metal buttons. Modern Brooks Brothers tags right here. I just picked this one up in Charleston. It's a men's size 46L. I have it listed for $55, which is a really fair price. Market price is like 50 to 60 bucks. I could have priced it at 70, honestly. So I'm going to go ahead and accept this offer at $46. I paid $7 for this item. And a pretty quick sale there too, because I just picked that up on my Charleston trip at the thrift store. So gotta love that. I'm not a tech and sports fanatic, but I mean, you probably, and I wasn't accusing you of that, but there are some people who are, I call them like tech and sports devotees, basically like whatever he says is fact, and they use it. A lot of people say, well, he was the biggest clothing seller on eBay, like number one, for years in a row. I'm like, that's awesome. But there are multiple ways to be successful at the reselling business. And I very much think that he taught a way and he prescribed a way. And that's good for people. It's actually really helpful teaching. If you give somebody a really like step-by-step, here's the way to do it. It's actually a great way to teach. It's a powerful way to teach. And I think it's a good way to get started. But then I think after that, you got to move beyond the sensei in a way, right? You have to figure out how the game has changed. And you have to, then you have to figure out your own way after the person taught you, like, here's a scripted way to get started, use these metrics and go. And then once you get going, you can start charting your own path as you move forward, as the game continues to change and modify. In a previous eBay opening one, if eBay's reps explain the best title structure for the algo. So I went with that. Gotcha. I think even those people are kind of magicking it. But I am familiar with that talk that you're speaking of. I take detailed photos of every item, take 1/4 shots of both back and front, but don't see other sellers doing it. Is it necessary? I take detailed photos of every item, take 1/4 shots of both back and front, but I don't see any other seller do that. Is it necessary? I'm not sure. All I can tell you is there's a bunch of different ways to be successful in this business, and I can show you. I'll share the screen. We just showed this rain spooner. It's just up on the screen, so I'll share this with you. Let's do a share screen. This is how I listed this item. This is my modern listing strategy. My first photo is a zoomed in shot so that you can see the pattern. So that's the cover photo. Second photo is a tag photo, which shows the size and the materials and the brand. Third photo in this case is a new with tags photo. So I'm showing that new photo is number 3. I show full front. I show full back. I take photos of each of the measurements. In a short sleeve shirt, I do 2. I don't always include this, but this is the washing instructions. Took another photo of the new with tags, a story of the shirt right here because it's new with tags. So really, if you subtracted 4 of these photos from here because it's new with tags, if this was used, then I would have a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 photos would be this shirt if it wasn't new with tags. I took some extra shots because I took shots of the new tags, the hang tags. So that's how I do it. Yeah, but there's multiple different ways to do it. Yeah, I'm sure he says all that stuff, but I'm telling you, I'm grateful for this, because I've been on social media and talking about reselling for so long. I meet so many people out in the wild at thrift stores. It's awesome. I love meeting people and talking to people and hearing about their business. But it's amazing the way that people talk about metrics and tech and sports. It's, the way they talk about him in like very positive ways, by the way, like, which I think is great. He spent a lot of time teaching people and really cared about it and grew an amazing business. And they talk really highly of him, but it's interesting the way that they talk about him sometimes. I'll just say it's interesting, and they kind of like they regurgitate a lot of what he says, and they state it as fact. And oftentimes they'll be like, "That's why I'm not picking up this item." I'll be like, "Cool, I'll take it. I've sold 9 of those so far in 2026. It's a great seller for me, but it doesn't hit your prescribed metrics." Got it. And I have these conversations all the time, and they're usually great conversations. I'm not mad about it. I don't disrespect these people. These are great conversations. I'm just making an observation that there's a consistent theme that with some people that I talk to that are devotees, I would like to say, of tech and sports. And I think sometimes they just need to be like, all right, can I break free from this and think about this a little bit more? Like, yeah, could I think this through a little bit? Like, could this item that I'm handing to Chris that he's going to go make money off of, maybe I haven't thought through how I could tweak my strategy where this could be a part of my game and I could make more money this month. It's just, yeah, nobody knows everything. And I encourage everybody to walk away from my lives and be like, one or two things he said were kind of vibe with me. And like 17 of the things he said didn't vibe with me. And then, toss those 17 in the trash and take those 2 things and, put them in your pocket or put them in your backpack and take them out when you need them, Like quarter shops, top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. Gotcha. Oh, I don't know. I mean, there's so many different ways to do it. I'm not going to tell you that the way that you do it is wrong. Again, I just showed you the way that I do it. If that works for you and it helps you get sales, then keep doing it. But if you feel like it's not helping, stop doing it. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, you got to figure it out. Just because I do it one way, it doesn't mean that that's going to work for you. I have a screenshot I took of this title structure from a couple of years back. I'll try to find it and send it to you. You may have already seen it. Thank you. Yeah, I've definitely already seen it. Yeah. Anything sellers need to know about starting to sell on Whatnot? So I sold on Whatnot years ago, like live stream style. I haven't done it in 2 years. I literally have not streamed once on Whatnot in 2 years. I got my first sale on the marketplace yesterday from cross-listing stuff using Nifty. And it was super easy process. Like it was just like selling on any other platform. I got notified of the sale. I printed out the shipping label and I put the thing in a bag and shipped it out. So that's my one experience shipping off the marketplace. And it was good. It felt like shipping on any other platform. So I'm not really sure. I see what you're asking and I get it. But I don't know. I've sold one item through the marketplace. I have one item's worth of experience. I shipped it on Saturday. And that's all my experience selling on that platform. So we'll see. It was one item. I got one offer. I countered offered it and I sold it. So I haven't got any other offers yet and I haven't gotten any other sales. And so that's my experience over there. But it was really easy. It was just like shipping an item from, it was probably most similar to shipping an item from Mercari because you just generate the label. I'd say it's probably most like Mercari. Because on eBay, you have to like choose like your shipping, like you can choose like FedEx or UPS. Like it's not like that. You like pre-choose that on Whatnot. So I'd say it's a lot like Mercari. They almost, there's definitely some of that. And I think it's good. I think it's good to have like idols and people that you look up to, the people that inspire you and motivate you and teach you and hand you knowledge nuggets that you can put in your quiver, right? And then take them out and use them to start and grow a business. I think it's beautiful. I think it's great to have role models and people that you look up to. And I think it's great to be like, you know what? I've been doing this for 6 months now and he's taught me a lot. And now I need to start to add some other arrows to my quiver on top of that. That's all I'm saying. But I think it's great that they found one person that they can say, cool, this person gives a lot of detail. He's obviously had a lot of success and he gives it to you straight. I think if you're going to idolize anyone, I think it's a good person to choose because there's a lot of information that he provides there and he gives people a system to follow. I think it's a really smart thing to do. I just think follow that for 6 months and then say, cool, month 7 is going to be 2% different because I'm looking at some other things. I'm learning as I go. Fun and helpful live. I'm about to leave work now and work on eBay for a couple hours before I spend the rest of the time with my toddler. Well, thank you for spending some time. Enjoyed the conversation. I always do. Good to see you. I'm sure I'll see you out and about sometime again soon. I think with that too, I'm going to log off for the day. We did a little bit of a longer live today. Got into some conversations, down some rabbit holes, 2 hours and 38 minutes. Look, enjoyed spending time with you. It's always fun to be able to share some time with you. Otherwise, it would just be me talking to the wall about the stuff that I sold. So it's great to talk and shop with y'all. Enjoy spending some time with you. Thanks for all the support you give me. Thanks for watching the videos. Thanks for, if you haven't hit the like button on this live, I appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed or hit the follow button, I'd love to have you on board. Remember, if you're just jumping in now, these lives are always available as a replay. So as soon as I click end on this live, you'll be able to start watching from the beginning. You'll fast forward through my boring, rambly stuff, or you can rewind to like those really good sales or little knowledge nuggets that you appreciated. Thanks everyone for jumping in, sharing some thoughts, talking about your biz, talking shop with me. I love talking shop. So we'll see you again next Monday. Am I traveling next Monday? I'm not. I'll see you again next Monday around noontime Eastern time. And if you're looking for more Chris at Peak content right now, I did just drop a YouTube video yesterday. I traveled to Winston-Salem, North Carolina for a thrift trip and went to some thrift stores, ate some tacos. So if you want to check out that video, I just dropped that yesterday. I think you'll enjoy it. And until next time, have a great week. Find some great stuff and make some great sales. We'll see you again soon. Peace.